Saying.
I mean,
I blame Mo.
they're blaming Mo, but I mean, don't we always? I mean,
Facts. Who
Shameless.
else to blame? Who else to
exactly.
blame?
I was here like 10 minutes before Mo. We're just sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, Mo. You gotta get your shit straight.
Mo has no decorum because he's got a studio that he's got to run. So
Oh yeah.
I'm at home, man.
Mo,
Chill on.
Mo's like
Mo's rich. Yeah.
Mo's like Pinto when John Cena's getting his ass beat. We're sitting here trying to start the show, and he's just dancing his way over to the.
Ketchup pulled a Jeff Hardy, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Name Wrestling Podcast. Narcolepsy Boy 94 here, Malik, Mo, G, Jade, all in the cut. Shout out to Lewis, who will not be here today. Nate is going to pull up a little late, but we're going to dive into the Night of Champions recap, talk some things, that everybody wants to talk about and stuff.
What a weird show.
We'll dive into some of these conversations. Before we start, I'm going to ask a little random question to get everybody's perspective on it. One of those little things I did last week about, like the little 6 individual things. This is only going to be 4, though. So just breaking it down. This is just breaking it down in different categories. So just to get people's perspectives and opinions. So in terms of strictly popularity and impact, right? Just talking popularity and impact alone. How would you rank these superstars between Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk? Out of those 4.
I know who's last. I know who's last.
You for sure know who's last?
I for sure know who's last. You said Rey Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes?
Cody Rhodes.
Popularity and
impact.
It's popularity and impact. Both of them combined. I know who's last.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Well, you can go ahead and give me a list when you're ready.
I'm trying to determine who I want to put at 1.
I think I would have to put, because I would weigh impact over popularity.
Right.
And that being the case, Jeff Hardy's got to be at the bottom. He was super popular during his run, but because of how inconsistent he was, and I mean, his reigns were nothing memorable except for the fact that he won them. The start of them was memorable.
Okay, so to be clear though, we're not just counting WWE though. We're talking just everything. Like,
we gonna get there. I'm gonna let Jay finish, but I know we're counting everything.
Just to be more clear, in case people want to change their perspective, we're talking everything. So we're not really talking about.
Yeah,
we're talking about if they did stuff in TNA or whatever.
Right.
Tag team accolades.
Yeah, and I guess his tag team impact is up there.
It's crazy, but
I would still have to put him last. I just can't put him above the other guys. I would still have to put him last, and then I would put Cody right above him, and then Punk, and then Mysterio. Probably would be my list.
So you have Mysterio at 1.
I have Mysterio. I mean, ask anybody who wrestles, especially anybody who wears a mask or anybody who wrestles the Lucha Libre style, who was your number 1 inspiration?
Right.
Ask the entire WWE roster point blank, and I'm sure at least 50% of them are probably going to say Rey Mysterio.
You right. I understand.
That's a fair point, because if you were to like walk up to somebody random, right, and say, "Hey, name a wrestler that wrestles with a mask," Rey Mysterio is going to be the answer.
Rey Mysterio is the first answer.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to be the answer.
And so, Jade, I hear you. So I just want to preface this by saying it's going to be real nasty. That's going to be a theme for the rest of this show. By the way, if you want to be a G maniac, the number's right there. I am obviously putting Jeff Hardy at last because he, to me,
it's fair.
He's not. He was popular, but he had the least amount of impact. Like, it's like impact to like a business, and he's the. Well, there's maybe another person on this list too, but we can get to that later. He's the only person that, to me, I felt definitely, like, without a shadow of a doubt, negatively impacted. Like, without question, a company that probably couldn't afford to do it. You negatively impact WWE, they'll be fine. We lived through 2019 and COVID. They'll be fine. TNA, though, they couldn't afford that.
Time, though.
It was one moment. It was one moment.
It was, bro,
but it was a big moment, though.
It was a bad moment, but it was one.
They talk about that to this day, but
for sure.
It's 1, 2, 3, small low gap, and then Jeff Hardy. So, and the reason I say that, because Jay, you made a convincing argument that made me almost change my list. But
I'm struggling still.
I'm putting, and it's like neck and neck, but I'm gonna put Punk, Cody, Mysterio in that order. And the only reason why is because I personally feel modern day wrestling I'm going to attribute that more to Cody and Punk than I am Mysterio. I mean, fucking Cody Rhodes started a fucking company, for crying out loud.
And that was, by the way, that was the tiebreaker for me putting Cody where he was. If
Right.
Cody hadn't had his hand in starting AEW, which is the second most successful wrestling industry or company in the world, I probably would have put Hardy over Cody. But
Right,
because
I would have
Cody's
too.
hand in starting AEW, then that.
Right, I would, and I would have too, honestly, because at first I was gonna like, oh yeah, but then I was like, oh no, Cody got AEW. I gotta give him that because I mean, shit, AEW, and they cooking right now. They on a little roll right now. So, and we obviously know what 2021 was. That was like elite peak right there. So, I'm gonna give him that. Only reason why I put Punk one, I know Jay, how you feel about all that, but to me, I feel like Punk at the time of his little height of his popularity, even though he wasn't maybe necessarily not the direct cause, I feel like he definitely sparked that whole kind of movement of, yeah, we're kind of tired of this. We want something different.
No, he's
Now,
the direct cause.
He now obviously it took 10 years to the day of him cutting that pipe bomb for Vince to finally be packed up out of there. But I think a lot more people that maybe weren't familiar with TNA or weren't familiar with all this other stuff, I think he brought a wave of like, you know what? No, I am going to watch Ring of Honor because I'm sick of this and I do want something different. And I felt NXT, obviously, in its own right, is one of the greatest peaks ever for a wrestling company or a wrestling brand. I feel like NXT is kind of what everybody had wanted. I feel like it was the perfect balance of the AEW we have today and the WWE that we have today. Peak stories, peak wrestling. Everybody felt, well, mostly everybody felt credible. And I felt like low-key, that's what Punk always wanted, low-key. Like, I think NXT was kind of what Punk was trying to get to. Like, yeah, you don't have to be 6'6" and benching 5 plates to be a top star in the company. You can be a credible world champion and fit up under the door when the door is closed. Like,
so let's see what Mo has to say. You brought up a good
All
point
right,
about CM Punk.
Yeah, there's some good points, man.
CM Punk is definitely one of the most popular superstars we've ever seen. I mean, I don't know any other wrestler you can name that was gone for a decade and they still chant his name and people seem to never get tired of it. You know what I mean? And he got two of the biggest returns ever. Like 2 of the biggest returns in 2 different companies. People cried in both scenarios. So that's it. It's an interesting answer. Mo, who you got?
Oh my god, I think I'm going to agree with Punk at 1 to jump on G Baby's point. He basically hit the nail on the head. I think Punk is just those 3 weeks in the summer of 2011 alone revolutionized the business entirely. There are so many people that pinpoint Money in the Bank 2011 to them coming back to pro wrestling. Like, his popularity is so crazy. Someone said it in chat. They chanted his name for 10 years straight. And there was a point where that man had no interest in coming back. So I'm going to go Punk at 1. Fuck. I'll probably put Cody at 2 just because he started a new company. That's just, he gave a whole new lane for new wrestlers to have a major wrestling promotion to go to that doesn't have to be WWE. So I'll give Cody 2. I think you're underestimating Jeff's popularity. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
Like,
I'm kind of surprised.
I'm looking at Impact though, and
I'm like, what?
And Impact your main criteria. I hear you.
Yeah, that's why I was with Jay because he said he weighed Impact more heavily, and I do too.
Right.
So
okay,
Because at their peaks, I mean, you're splitting hairs if you're trying to.
for sure.
In my opinion, you're splitting hairs when you're trying to level who.
But I think we're talking. If we're okay, I think we're talking Impact too, though. Like Jeff Hardy is one of the most beloved wrestlers. Like from our era that we grew up in, there were
People
really
don't even
2
watch it,
people,
still talk about him.
like 2 people that people wanted to be like. If it wasn't John Cena, it was Jeff Hardy. It was one of the 2.
yeah,
But Rey Mysterio was one of one. I'll put it to you this way: if you ask anyone who grew up in the Attitude Era, who was your favorite tag team, the votes are going to be split 1,000,000 to 1. You're going to have 25% saying DX, 25% saying the Dudleys, 25% saying Edge and Christian, and then the rest are going to be saying the Hardys. But again, you walk up to someone and say, "Who's the best masked wrestler? Who's the best luchador?" Who got you into wrestling? Ray. Check the boxes. So I don't. That's just how I'm. Listen, and again, I am not. I was there for it live. I am not doubting Jeff Hardy's popularity, but I think you also have to take into account that the reason it didn't work out long term for Jeff Hardy is because of Jeff Hardy. It's nobody's fault but his own. Yeah. So you have to put that into it too.
And when I look at Impact, like, yes, to the fans, but I also think to the business, and I think it's not a disrespect because he did have the tag team, but like if I spread out like how much he helped with the tag team, like kind of Jade said, it's kind of even because you had all those other teams that are all-time great. Lucha, Rey Mysterio will forever be the face of Lucha. Like
no question.
Yeah, he forever be the face. Cody, he's the face of the company now, and he started a company before. CM Punk, whether you like him, whatever the case, for a minute, I feel like was the face of like a Revolution and all that stuff. So I know, Jade. I know.
I want to throw
Jade is
that
something
out there.
else, bro.
I'm a generational hater. I know.
I feel like Jeff Hardy's critiques, though, also, I feel like that you can make the argument that just make people root for him even more. That made people inspired to like him even more.
Yeah, but he does have the tag team impact, but I think as a singles guy as well, like we said, that 3-year period where he was in WWE as a singles guy was like what made him so popular, made him this popular guy that we all know him to be, like the guy that people wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? Like
the problem with Jeff Hardy. Here's the last thing I'll say. Here's my problem. Here's my problem with Jeff Hardy.
Not to mention the extreme shit too. People jumping off houses and shit because of Jeff Hardy. Like,
yeah, like I see TikToks all the time. Like
when WWE says, "Please don't try this at home," they're talking about Jeff Hardy. Don't jump off that ladder. Don't do that. Don't climb that tree and jump on the trampoline or something. Don't do nothing crazy. Even though we still all did it. You know what I mean? Like we still all did stuff like that, but. I was maybe because like the people that I grew up around, that was just the people that I grew up with. Like you either was a John Cena fan or a Jeff Hardy fan, and a lot of my friends were big Jeff Hardy guys. You know what I mean? So they was always doing the crazy, stuff that we were never supposed to be doing and stuff like that. So, but I mean, you're not wrong about the Rey Mysterio argument. It's not.
Well, and see, that's another part of it too. And again, yeah, for chat, anyone who's saying, "Oh, trash list this, trash list." There's a reason that Malik does these lists. It's because they're impossible to separate.
They're like neck and neck.
That's what makes the conversation so interesting. That's number one. Number two, and again, we joke about it, right? But the age difference between me and you guys, and again, I turned 35 in August. How old are you guys?
Damn.
Yeah, I turned 35 in August.
We're not even 30.
I'm about to be 23.
Yeah,
I'm about to be 23.
So while you guys were growing up, and it was a conversation of who's your favorite Batista or John Cena, or who are your favorite tag teams, the Hardys or the Dudleys or whatever. Mm-hmm. I was watching WCW in its heyday, and I was watching Rey Mysterio. And I would invite you guys to go back in Peacock and go back and watch the episodes of Nitro in 96, 97. And then even after he demasked, because I think after he demasked in WCW, he got even more popular.
Yeah.
And so I would invite you to go back and watch those old episodes of Nitro and watch the reactions. Now, the crowds weren't as large. The crowds weren't as energetic because it was just a different time. But there was nobody more over in its prime in WCW. And then, I mean, of course, you take into account the 05-06 run with everything that happened there. But I don't want us to discount how popular he was in WCW because you guys weren't there for it. But I was there live for that, and I was live for everything else. And so that may be what goes into it for me when I'm putting
let's let Mo Larry. So let you finish your list. And we'll move on.
I probably.
What's your order?
Yeah, I'll go Punk, Cody, Mysterio, and Hardy at the bottom. I'll go with y'all. Hardy at the bottom. It's so like.
Okay. So one time, everybody say the list one last time in order. I'll let you go first.
I think I had Punk,
30's crazy.
Cody, Ray, and then Jeff at the bottom.
And Mo, yours is
Punk, Cody, Ray. Yeah. Same list. Punk, Cody, Ray.
Mine was Ray, Punk, Cody, Jeff.
All right. Interesting takes. All right. Just wanted to get people's perspectives on that. I mean, it's interesting.
What's your list though? We got to hear your list.
Number one will probably be CM Punk for me. He was like the revolutionary guy of that time frame that people wanted, that was like anti WWE, that was never like the look that represented the company that you knew was like the typical look type guy. He was like the anti WWE guy. So, and CM Punk was actually the first guy to make me root against John Cena. Money in the Bank 2011 was the first time I ever wanted John Cena not to win a match against somebody else. So
I rooted against Punk so hard.
I would probably say Punk, then probably Rey Mysterio because of the Lucha Libre impact, and then probably Cody and Jeff Hardy.
So one thing I want to say, I was biting my tongue a minute ago because I was trying to let everybody finish. And this is, listen, maybe it's just the haterade talking.
It is.
Can we pump the brakes just a smidge on the credit that we're giving CM Punk for what he did?
Nope.
No.
The pipe bomb was a tremendous promo at the time for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, and I'm happy to Google and check my resources again, CM Punk didn't create NXT. CM Punk wasn't even around when guys like Owens and Balor and Shinsuke and Sammy and everybody were coming on board. And when we're talking about CM Punk, how much of that had to do with the man and how much of that had to do with the product that was in front of us and what they would rather be watching?
Okay. I think it's a bit of both.
You have to, okay.
If the material was better, you wouldn't have heard the CM Punk chants as consistently as you did. If they had made the right decisions with guys like Daniel Bryan and Damian Sandow and guys like that, you wouldn't have heard it as much as you did, because it all led back to CM Punk's point, his original pipe bomb. But I think that the seeds for what was going to happen with NXT were already being sowed when CM Punk cut his promo. I just want to be careful about how much I'm not saying that he didn't influence at all, but I just feel like
the game show.
I was about to say, I was just about to say that NXT was a reality show, and then it turned into a game show. Like it was like the first season of NXT. Yeah, that I thought that concept was actually fine. And then when they started turning it into game show, running around with kegs and whatever the case, I was like, all right, bro. Like, we're like, and only thing I'll say is, Jay, with every civil war in history, every revolution, there's got to be a spark. Usually, if things are fine, there's no need for a revolution, or a civil war, because it's not like somebody came and took WWE over. It was an inner thing, right? If usually civil wars don't happen if people are happy with what's going on. That's usually how that works. So, Punk, in a sense, was that spark. He saw, and the Punk was basically kind of like, okay, I know I'm not the only one feeling that, but since everybody else seems too scared to do something, I'll be that voice of the voiceless, quote unquote. But I think it's fair to say, and you've heard a lot of wrestlers, ones that were up and coming, say like, no, CM Punk, like, he's my guy. He's the one that was like, man, I actually do want to see something. You know what? I'm not going to settle for this mediocrity they keep putting on TV. I want something better, right? I mean, yes, obviously he wasn't there. He didn't make NXT, and he didn't make these guys that we love. He didn't make them. But if you change somebody's name for 10 straight years, like you can't. They're not chanting Stone Cold's name. I mean, they're doing the what, but they're not chanting Stone Cold's name for 10 plus years. They're doing the what. But
I know Mo needs to get back in here, but let me say this. Okay, let's say just for a hot second that I'm willing to just hand over all credit for everything NXT ever did to CM Punk and bow down to the altar of CM Punk. Let's just say for a minute that I'm willing to do that. Mm-hmm. Even if I give CM Punk credit, if I say CM Punk is the one that kicked down that door for NXT to do what it did.
Right.
Did 2018 in WWE still happen? Did 2019 in WWE still happen? Did 2020 in WWE still? So
Absolutely.
ultimately, even if we give CM Punk credit for opening the door for NXT, up until 2022 when Triple H finally took over because they had no choice but to make Vince McMahon go away.
Right.
What ultimately did he really change?
So I'm not going to go as far.
I'll let Mo answer that question.
If we still had to put up with mediocre television for let's say from 2011 all the way through to 2016, that's 5 years of mediocre television, and then we had 2 years of okay television, and then 3 more years of mediocre television.
Right.
What did he really change?
Go ahead, Mo.
So
I'll let you answer that.
I'm not going to go as far as G to give him the NXT credit.
I didn't give him the credit. I was just taking. I was taking what Jade would. Jade said, "Imagine if I give it." I was gonna say we don't have to give him all the credit, but continue.
Yeah, no. I knew what you were saying. I got your full point. Cool. I just wouldn't go there. What I would say with Punk, what he sparked was before CM Punk, those kind of indie guys weren't getting those opportunities. It wasn't until after that pipe bomb, until after Money in the Bank 2011, when they started getting those opportunities. And when WWE continuously were going back to the status quo, that's when the CM Punk name started to get chanted, because fans were like, bro, like this, the vision that CM Punk put out for WWE, that's what we want. Y'all keep going back to this bullshit, but that's what we want. That's why his name kept getting chanted.
Also too, I do just want to say CM Punk did actually affect something that I think also helped push kind of like the indie, the guys they want to see instead of just like the big names and stuff.
The Shield too.
If CM Punk doesn't walk out, we don't get WrestleMania. We don't get that Daniel Bryan moment.
That is very true.
And Daniel Bryan, I think, was definitely like when they finally gave him that, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh!" Now we know what the eventual plan was anyway. Super Cena got squashed, but we know that was going to happen to Daniel Bryan regardless, so it doesn't matter. But like, well, Daniel Bryan having a long reign doesn't matter. But I definitely think like CM Punk. I mean, he had his run; he was on top. Daniel Bryan was also not a CM Punk guy, but like he represented coming from the indies and that kind of different style and all that. And I just want to make it clear: CM Punk is not the reason NXT is what it is today. He is not the reason for that. But I definitely think a lot more fans started to want something different and stopped settling for just what WWE was putting out, because at the time, I mean, WWE was a powerhouse. Nobody cared about anything else. I think because it doesn't matter. It's not WWE. And I think after that, people started to care more about the other stuff.
What plays into effect too at that time frame, CM Punk was looked at as the opposite of what John Cena was. John Cena was the company guy that was treated as the company guy, and that time in 2011, there were a lot of people who were sick and tired of John Cena being the guy. CM Punk became the guy that they thought could be in that position and somebody that they liked and wanted to be in that position. But the WWE never treated him that way. They didn't give him the WrestleMania main event and the main events of pay-per-views when he was wrestling Daniel Bryan and John Cena's fighting John Laurinaitis, and they get the main event spot over a match that has better match quality and more intriguing. So when CM Punk was going through those situations, a lot of fans were always looking at Punk like, hey, he could be the guy if you really want to put him there. But WWE refused to put him there. He even told a story where when he was on the cover of the WWE 13 video game, he was never supposed to be on the cover. WWE didn't want him on the cover. They wanted Sheamus to be on the cover, but the video game creators demanded CM Punk be on the cover because he was the hottest thing in wrestling. He was the hottest guy they had. We want the best superstar.
And replacing it with Sheamus.
We want the best superstar you possibly got right now in the company that's going to bring the most attraction to the video game, and that's CM Punk. WWE was hell bent on just we don't want him on that cover. We want to put Sheamus on the cover. They were trying to make Sheamus like one of the next big stars. So the WWE never saw CM Punk in the same limelight as the fans. Majority of them wanted CM Punk to be in that position when he was speaking up and saying stuff. Like CM Punk from that era, that PG era, was the first guy to really cut promos and say things that you didn't think were like scripted. Like, I don't think he's supposed to say that. Like, I don't think he's supposed to be talking about Triple H that way and Stephanie and Vince and the behind the scenes stuff. Like, it made it edgy and it made it intriguing in an era that was PG. So you're like, whoa, this guy he's going against the grain. He's doing a little bit something different. It made people intrigued. It made people interested.
So, not the point, but the constant disrespect for Sheamus on this show has got to stop.
Why on the cover?
2013?
Yeah, in 2013. No,
at that time, come on, bro.
Not the point.
You think the game came out.
Love Sheamus though. I love Sheamus.
Champion.
What I will say though, to Malik's point is, one thing I do give CM Punk credit for absolutely is I do think he changed the promo game in WWE. I think it took a little bit to develop, but I don't think we have guys like Ambrose and Rollins and Owens cutting the kinds of promos that they did later on, or even guys like The Miz cutting promos the way that they did later on if Punk hadn't laid the groundwork for, oh, okay, so we can get away with that type of shit. Okay, cool. Right. I'll go ahead and start doing that stuff. And then again, just for the record, by the way, and I've said this before, regardless of the haterade that I drink daily for CM Punk, the Summer of Punk is maybe their biggest fumble of all time. So if they handle the Summer of Punk correctly, give him the main event he wanted that next year that ultimately he deserved for the work he was putting in, Punk is number one by a long shot because I think he never leaves WWE. I think he ultimately has as big of an impact on WWE as I think he would have taken the place of John Cena. I think he would have taken that torch and been the lead guy in the company for the next 10 years after that. If they had handled the Summer of Punk.
I think CM Punk showed a lot of people too. This is also go behind the scenes stuff that we don't see, but when you're valuable to the product and you know you're valuable, it's okay to speak up and show your worth. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know that I'm valuable to the product. This is trash. This is not okay. Like, this is not something that I want to do. Like, it's okay to speak up in those directions as long as you don't, obviously, you're not like Hulk Hogan, where you're like trying to control everything within the company system. But like, you know, Bayley was left off WrestleMania this year, and she talked about on the podcast, like her biggest critique is herself, where she doesn't speak up. She doesn't go to the management and say, hey, this isn't okay, or I don't want to do this. Like, she just takes whatever she gets and tries to make the best of it, which is being a team player to an extent. But CM Punk is showing like, hey, it's okay to know when something's not good. If it's not good, tell them it's not good. Like, this is not a good idea. Like, we should go in a different direction. Sometimes the wrestlers are right, sometimes the wrestlers are wrong. But I think he was also showing that side of there's things that go on that people don't see. And when you're able to get to a certain height and you know your worth and your value, it's okay to speak up and, you know, use your authority when you have certain stroke like that, because there's a lot of wrestlers who got that, you know what I'm saying? Like CM Punk speaking about like, hey, I know that guy over there, you wouldn't give him that idea because he would never do it. So why you expect me to do it? You know what I mean? And I'm just as valuable as him. So it goes to both sides. I mean, I understand CM Punk is like a controversial guy. I feel like at this stage, people really either like him or really don't like him. There's really like no in between when it comes to CM Punk. Like you're really either a huge CM Punk fan or you're just not really a CM Punk fan at this stage. So, I mean, I feel like Punk did something for wrestling that just sparked something that kind of shifted a movement in that era that was looked at as non-cool. You know, the PG era was like from 2010 to 2012. You know, there wasn't a lot of, I mean, there was some good stuff that happened in that era, but because the product was PG, the roster was so lackluster of stars. I mean, we reviewed some of the Rumbles they had at the time frame when they had like Ricardo Rodriguez in the Royal Rumble because they had like no other people to really put in that to fill spots. You know what I mean? So I think Punk kind of shifted a spark in that time frame to kind of really push an agenda that people had felt inside themselves that, you know, kind of wanted to be pushed. And he was the guy to voice up and speak about it that nobody else was doing at that time.
And I've said before too, just to get this out of the way, I'm a man to admit when I'm wrong. I was ultimately wrong about Nia Jax, although what the hell has her booking been? I'm pretty sure I cursed her because what the fuck has her booking been since I made that video or that comment on the podcast? And ultimately I was wrong about CM Punk and the negative impact that I thought he would have on WWE morale. He's been fine, obviously. Honestly, I've been kind of concerned about his booking. If he's okay with it, then he's okay with it. That's fine. But I thought by now he would have had a Royal Rumble win, a world title. He had his Mania main event, which is great, but he didn't win.
I think he would have had the world title if he didn't get hurt. I think he was for sure.
Yeah,
that was ultimately one of my concerns about CM Punk was the health, and he hasn't proven me wrong there. But anyway,
I mean, it's only one time though.
I was wrong about the
but to that point, I think Punk is just at a position where he's just. I don't think he really cares too much about most of that stuff anymore.
About
I mean,
the championship, he probably not. But
yeah, like like if he wins the
I think he
title,
wants
it's
one.
like whatever. But like I think he just
Do you
wants
think
to.
now that he's gotten his main event, as long as he keeps getting paid and he's getting interesting stories, you think he's?
I think he
yeah,
just-
I think right now he cares more. Like I think he just wants to. I mean, just me, obviously, I don't know him, but I think he wants to tell good stories. I am kind of with Mo. I do think he at least wants one title, like to win one championship. But
dope.
it's probably not happening till.
I mean, I'm sure.
Next year, yeah,
everybody
sometime
wants to
next
be the
year.
champion. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he might want another championship reign. You could ask Randy Orton the same thing. Would he want to be the champion again? Sure. Why not? Like, who wouldn't want to be the champion?
I just remember one thing about Punk. This man literally sold out an arena based off a rumor. Like it was a rumor that he was going to show up. In
when he returned, yeah.
It was a straight up rumor, and that freaking
Wait, which
building
return?
sold
Which
out.
return?
The
AEW.
AEW return.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
That's a
I'm
rumor.
not gonna lie.
Was it not a rumor?
I am
Survivor
not gonna
Series
lie.
one was a kind of a rumor too.
I am not going to lie. Survivor Series was way more of a rumor. You want to know why it wasn't a rumor to me, Mo?
But
You
you
want
gonna
to
give
know
him
why?
NXT? All right, bro.
Technically,
All right,
there
all right,
wasn't
all right.
confirmed, right? Nobody actually came out and said. But these motherfuckers had a whole the first dance
Yeah.
press up for, and it wasn't even the first episode of Rampage. No. If it was the first episode of Rampage,
and there was
and bro, if it was the first episode of Rampage, Mo, all right, cool. They had 1 or 2 episodes already. Why are you calling it the first dance? And it was in Chicago. Like you're not fooling nothing, nigga.
Right.
The young
Was it
Bucks
not
and
a rumor? Was it not a rumor? Yes or no?
bro?
Yes or no question. Was it
Hey,
not
I'm
a rumor?
gonna use your
Okay,
favorite phrase.
cool,
Hey,
cool,
I'm gonna use your
cool.
phrase.
That's all
I'm
I
gonna
said. That's all I said.
I'm gonna use your phrase.
It was a rumor.
That shit was Mickey. That shit was Mickey.
Sure.
That's what that was.
It could be Mickey, but it was a rumor. It could be Mickey, but it was a rumor. That's all I said.
Bro, but you're saying, but the way you're saying, like, oh, they sold it out because of a rumor. No, they sold it out because they knew good and well that nigga was finna be there.
We said that a bunch of times. All out 2019, we said that shit. Like, but anytime they went to Chicago in AEW, we were
Okay,
like,
okay.
But
That's
I agree,
different
I
because
agree, it's a little Mickey.
they literally kept holding like every single one of those pay-per-views in Chicago. Like AEW for a minute was like every year we're gonna come back to the same place.
to Chicago.
So,
yeah,
at the
every time.
end, though, you still.
Bro,
you still
but what gave it away for me was calling it the first dance when you had already had like 2 episodes of Rampage already. And it was live, mind you. It wasn't taped. It was live.
yeah, there was
Yeah.
more real speculation to believe Punk was going to be there. But at the end of the day, if you bought a ticket, you still didn't know. You didn't know if he was there or not.
I knew for sure he
never
was
know.
showing up at
Like,
Survivor Series. I had no doubt in my mind he was showing up.
Here's
doubt.
the thing. Here's the thing. Because Survivor Series obviously came after. It was good, AJ. It was good, AJ. Hey, come be a G Maniac. The numbers in the chat. Come be
brother.
a G Maniac.
I'm actually
Bro, this is the last thing I'll say. With the first dance shit, bro, I'm not gonna lie. That company would have died if they did all that shit.
that would have been
And
so
CM
bad.
Punk didn't come
That
out.
would have been so bad.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way. That's why I felt like it's Mickey, because there's no way you
No,
can
it's Mickey.
and go through all of that for a CM Punk return and not deliver.
You know what?
That'd
It's
be
similar
so-
to. You know what it's similar to? I remember I made a TikTok in the lead up to WrestleMania in 2022, or what? Is it 2022 when Cody showed up?
Yeah.
I made a TikTok. I was like, WWE, if this is anybody but Cody, God help you. God help you if this is anybody but Cody Rhodes. That was the feeling I had that night when the show opened up and the crowd was chanting for CM Punk. I was like, God help Tony Khan if CM Punk. It was one of those things where, yeah, technically it was a rumor, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And there was a lot of fucking smoke around.
There was a lot of smoke, yeah.
A lot of smoke.
Because it was rumored that he already signed.
They left the trail of cigarettes. They left the trail of matches.
You stupid.
They got the lighters on the floor, leaving the whole trail. Word.
And what's crazy too is like the Survivor Series return was a lot less likely, but I was so sure that night. It is like that almost didn't happen.
Well, for me, I was like, bro, I was like, because for me, I was like, look, for the War Games one, it was like, bro, this nigga Triple H is petty. We know this.
I was like,
you
there's
think
no
he's
way
not
he
gonna,
doesn't show
I
up.
was like, you think he's not gonna take advantage of that shit? I was like, and look, we have a whole clip on TikTok me saying it's in Chicago. Like, you can't script that for a show that is based on scripted television.
Right.
Triple H's petty ass is not going to take advantage. Is not going to miss the opportunity to take advantage of being petty when you can't script it any better than that.
You couldn't have.
He's pettier than he is bald.
The fact that they didn't even know, they booked Chicago the year before, didn't even know that was going to be a possibility. Good on them.
This happened right there in the palm of their hands.
It was literal magic, bro. Literal magic. Even when they showed the graphic, you know how they did the Ciampa Gargano thing where they show the graphic and then I was like, no, he's still coming out. I'm like,
I knew. I was like,
he's still coming out. You're trying to trick me. I've seen this before, Triple H. You're not going to get me.
Like Triple H, I watched NXT. I know how you work.
Like, I know what you're going to do. Come on.
I studied
I'm like, and I heard like, I'm like, oh,
yeah. I was like, yeah, there we go. There we go.
I was still shook though.
Now I will say, I did cry when he came back on Rampage though. Rampage, I did shed a tear.
That was my birthday too. I was happy.
Yeah,
I shed a tear, but for a completely different reason.
I can't stand this Jade, man. Actually, I'm proud of him.
Jade is a generational hater, bro.
But speaking of Triple H, can we get onto this bald fuck?
Oh yeah, go ahead on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to let's move on to Night of Champions. So
what a weird.
I don't know how many predictions you guys got right. I only got one wrong. One of my predictions wrong.
I got the show right, word for word, bar for bar.
Okay. So everything pretty much happened that I kind of expected. Cody Rhodes obviously was going to win King of the Ring. That didn't surprise me. I think they might. I don't know if that Randy Orton look kind of got me like, I don't know if they done telling that story. Maybe they do something at SummerSlam, maybe a little triple threat or something. I don't know, but that was kind of interesting. I did like that aspect there. Cool. Yeah. But Cody winning obviously was expected. I know a lot of people was mad when Jey Uso was announced as the surprise, like the mystery person, but I was like, bro, it never really mattered who it was. They would never get past the next round anyway. So whoever it was, it wouldn't have mattered. I think Rhea and Raquel honestly was pretty good. That was kind of surprising. I'm not gonna lie.
That was Raquel's best match that I've seen from her. NXT, everything. That was
a pretty good match. That was a pretty good match. The Queen of the Ring, Jade won. I kind of thought they would give it to Asuka because the Asuka.
That was terrible.
But
yeah. That match, that was probably the worst match of the night,
and it suffered from the crowd too. The crowd,
what is wrong with? They were hot for everything else that night.
Yeah, the crowd is some assholes. The crowd is some assholes. I'm not gonna lie, they some assholes.
I mean, to be fair though, there was not really to get hype before that match.
But
they were still wrong.
They was OD for how, especially on SmackDown too.
SmackDown was crazy. They was OD on SmackDown.
Yeah, oh my god, that last woman standing match was terrible.
They was OD on SmackDown. That last woman standing match was pretty good too, but the crowd.
These Saudi Arabian crowds, they've gotten better as the years go on, but they're super unpredictable with certain things.
I couldn't get jiggy with it personally.
But yeah, that was the worst match of the night, and it's a shame because Asuka deserves better. But
I think Asuka's still getting that.
She'll be fine.
She might face EO at Evolution for all we know. I mean,
I'd be down.
They teased it. They teased it
at some point. I mean, I'm not surprised Jade won because Naomi has the Money in the Bank. I'm sure when Bianca comes back. I'm not gonna lie. I could see Bianca beating Tiffany at Evolution for that.
By the way, this was my prediction, and I said it on the show last month. I think Jade was going to win Queen of the Ring. Jade's going to win the title at SummerSlam, and then Naomi's going to immediately cash in. Just remind
everyone. She should. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Just quick side note before I go off. Imagine Naomi. Imagine they have Naomi be the first woman to not successfully cash in. She's never coming back from that. She's never coming back from that. Naomi needs this like more than any other.
I'm just saying. Look, SummerSlam could be. With the first night that we get a men's and women's cash in on the same. I was
gonna say I think Seth's cashing in at SummerSlam
because I don't know if there's ever been a women and a guys cashing on the same night or like the same show.
It's 2 nights this year.
Even though SummerSlam's 2 nights, it's the pay-per-view.
Yeah, they haven't done it.
But I think if Bianca's back in time, I could see her taking the title from Tiffany at Evolution, and then we get Bianca and Jade, and then like I said, the Naomi cash in. That aspect of that whole story plays a factor into it as well. And then the main event was cool. The main event was cool. Punk and Cena was pretty cool. The ending was
Cena's best.
I didn't think they were gonna go that route with all the interferences, though. That's the route.
Yeah, that's what kind of threw me off. And I'm not gonna lie. Where is this nigga Roman Reigns at?
Bro,
God.
Because I'm waiting. Like I'm thinking, like when Seth came out, he was taking his time. I'm like, this nigga Roman got to show.
I'm like, they're about to hit Roman's music.
Time,
nope.
And then they hit Pentas. I'm like,
oh, all right, good to see you, but why?
It was too good to be true, but it was too good.
Good on
to be
Penta
true.
though.
No, but like for a moment, you're thinking about it because like I'm thinking like, what if Roman comes out and then he maybe accidentally cost Punk the match, that could add on to some fire right there. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. But then he didn't show up. I don't know what the aspect of Roman's gonna be when he comes back, because he ain't been on TV since the Raw after Mania. So I'm not exactly sure what type of factor he's gonna play into it. But the Cena and Punk match was cool. I liked it. Like I said, I wasn't expecting the interferences. That kind of threw me off a little bit. But I genuinely, I gotta say this, I genuinely do not see how people don't see how he's going after the WWE Championship. He has shown zero interest in that World Championship, and there are some people who literally think that Goldberg is going to be Gunther just so they can have Seth cash in and become the World Champion. I can tell you right now, they're not sacrificing Gunther. All people,
who said
Gunther,
this, bro?
the ultimate Triple H guy, for Goldberg, just for Seth to cash in. I firmly believe at SummerSlam, in the main event, whether they might, I think they might add Randy to make it a triple threat, but even if they don't, I think Seth is cashing in and taking the championship from Cody Rhodes, and they're going to play off, moving with other story aspects, which I will dive into a little later. I think there's honestly going to be some different directions that people aren't thinking about. They're going to go in, but I think I have the idea of, from now until Mania, of how things are going to kind of plan out. But I firmly believe he's going after the WWE Championship. I think for his character and story arc, Seth is all about, the vision of WWE, and he has, this idea of what WWE needs to be. And for that vision to plan out, he needs to be the top guy. The WWE Championship, we all know, that's like the top championship right there. So I think in his mind, that's the title he needs to win. Cena's been talking about how Seth will never cash in on him and everything. They're already kind of planting seeds for that too. So genuinely, I don't see him going after the world title. He's shown no interest, like no direction of even hinting it. Like, I think it's the WWE Championship that he's going to win. And let's be honest, that brand split don't mean nothing. So I know people want to talk about the brand split. The brand split doesn't mean anything. You can pretty much go wherever you want nowadays.
Welcome to the dark
Edge
side.
did it in 07. Edge did it in 07.
The draft split hasn't meant shit since 2017.
And they haven't even had a draft this year, right? They usually have the draft, but after Mania?
I've seen
they're going to do it after
rumors
SummerSlam.
that they're going, after SummerSlam. They're going to
just
do
get rid of the brand split. Just get rid of the brand split.
Okay. All right. And then G wants to voice his frustrations about the Sami Zayn. Well, first off, none of us should expect Karrion Kross to win that match because he wasn't.
Right. But for anyone who believed that rumor that Karrion Kross can't take a back bump, like, get your brain checked. The fact that you had to watch him take a bump on his back stop believing everything you see online, for fuck's sake.
Unfortunately, you say that, people would will never listen to that logic. Honestly,
that's why I just mute people on Twitter and keep it moving.
Karrion and Sami was an okay match.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. I know.
I'm glad that Karrion finally got a PLE. That was his first PLE match since WrestleMania 40.
Yes.
Yeah, for WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
It was good for him, a good little spot. I think Karrion's character is good enough to lose and still be interesting, if that makes sense. Like, he can lose matches and still make his character very interesting based off losing by playing the puppet master. So, but overall, I mean, the match was okay. I mean, I didn't hate it, but G has some things.
He's about to explode.
Go ahead.
So it's been 24 or a little less than 24 hours. So originally I was mad when I saw Sami get the pin, right? But Lewis, shout out Lewis, he said something in the chat that I was like, you know what? Realistically, he hasn't been on a PLE since WrestleMania 40. I haven't even seen him in a televised match in who knows how long, since he pinned Uncle Howdy. So, okay, the loss isn't the worst thing in the world. But if everybody takes their phone after you watch this show, don't leave during the show. But if everybody takes their phone or their tablet or laptop and goes back to Peacock and you watch the replay of this show, if you fast forward to an hour, 23 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Hey, Tom stamped it.
If you fast forward
to
an hour, 23 minutes, 27 seconds, you will see Sami Zayn in the pin against Karrion Kross, and through your headset or your headphones or through your speaker, you would hear Michael Cole say, "What a miracle!"
A miracle's crazy.
How is it a miracle to beat Karrion Kross?
Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh, that's why
a miracle. It's a miracle. If I hear one more motherfucker tell me that Sami Zayn got to overcome some adversity, I'm going to lose I've already lost my shit. Bro. You want to see an underdog You want to see a real underdog that after you've already overcome the adversity, you stop acting like one? Go look at Daniel Bryan. Y'all remember when Daniel Bryan, I just saw it today. Y'all remember when Daniel Bryan was talking to Cena in his promo and Cena was naming all these guys? Daniel Bryan said to this nigga, "Would you talk like those guys are better than me?"
Yeah.
They're not, actually, if you really fucking think about it. Sami Zayn, I'm going to say this again for those of you who do not follow me on TikTok or have not seen the video. This nigga Sami Zayn ended 2, not 1, 2 of what I call the longest ever. He ended the tag title reign that was the longest ever. He got the pin! In the main event of WrestleMania, mind you. That's how they ended the show. And then, fast forward 365 days. He beat Gunther. Gunther! The unstoppable, unbeatable, the nigga who holds championships more than he changes his clothes. Beat him. In a story that I always said shouldn't have been him anyway. Yeah, that was weird. But hey, they gave him the fucking win. And you know what he did right after he beat the unstoppable Gunther? Was acting like a fucking underdog to Chad Gable, the nigga who can't win shit. So here's my thing. Here is my fucking thing. If one more fucking person tries to tell me that this nigga gotta be overcoming some adversity, my nigga Karrion Kross, I love Karrion. I've been caping for him on the show. The Hellmaker. You had to overcome a rage bait? Because it said you'll never be world champion. That's what you have to overcome, my nigga? Oh, my God. I almost fucking forgot. Triple H, you ball fuck. I need y'all to fucking decide, are we doing the 3-1 spot or are we not? Because Jey Uso in a World Heavyweight Championship match didn't do that fucking 3-arm spot. Nigga got put to sleep, touched his little wrist, and was, we're done. We're done. Sami Zayn and a Karrion Kross, weak-ass sleeper hold? He didn't even have it in all the way. Didn't even have it in right. I've seen him put that shit niggas to bed in NXT. Didn't even have it in right. And he gets the 3-arm spot? Y'all gave this man the baby face 3-arm spot. And mind you, if I watch it again, I'm pretty sure his arm did hit the ground, but then it popped up at the end. It did hit the ground. Are we fucking serious? So for all you Sami Zayn fans and for everybody, this is why I don't want to see him win a world title. This is why ever since he beat Gunther, I've been off Sami Zayn. Because that nigga, I would feel it more if he's never won. If he had an Oscar type WrestleMania record, okay. If he's never won a single title, okay. I would feel y'all a lot more. This was cute in 2013 when he couldn't beat Neville. This was cute in 2013. I'll even give y'all this is cute when he first got up to the main roster. What are we doing? I'm so tired of seeing this nigga overcome some adversity. My goodness, nigga, maybe WWE and for you, if every time you in the ring, you go overcoming some adversity. Every feud you in is some adversity. Why is Karrion Kross your adversity? Now, do I think he should have won? No, I think there's more pluses to Sami Zayn losing than Sami Zayn winning. But whatever, Saudi, sure, I guess, whatever, right? Mansoor's undefeated in fucking Saudi Arabia, so sure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so sure. Oh my God. And the thing that pisses me off about it more, you know what's the thing that pisses me off about it more? Either one or two things are gonna happen. Either this feud is gonna continue, and they're still gonna act like Sami Zayn has some adversity to fucking overcome after he won, or. You know what's the next adversity he gotta overcome? Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Because why the fuck is he in that feud?
Yeah.
I thought his whole point was trying to be a world champion. I thought that was his whole point. I want to be a world champion. Why he's inserted himself in a feud that he wasn't even a part of and is over? Because CM Punk totally forgot about y'all. Y'all came back. Okay, I guess we're regurgitating that, which is fine. Whatever. It'll be a nice little SummerSlam match. But you told me you forgot about it. CM Punk literally got laid out. And then, you know what he did the next week? hey, Cena, I'm coming after your title. Just completely forgot about the fact you got fucking laid out. Right? Penta's in this feud. Sure. Cool. At least there's explanation for that. So my overall point, because I know I can feel myself getting off on a tangent. Sami Zayn. Sami fucking Zayn. Please stop moving. If you were going to put him on the screen and have him moving like he's the fucking Undertaker or like he's fucking the Golden State Warriors, stop having him move like the Golden State Warriors and act like he's the Washington Wizards. Please. Please. This nigga has ended 2 of the longest title reigns. I've seen you do it. You beat Gunther. You know how many people beat Gunther in his lifetime actually pinned him? You know how many people have done that? 4. And I'm not talking about that bullshit count-out Chad Gable guy. 4 people can actually say they legitimately beat Gunther. You're one of them, Sami fucking Zayn. Stop talking to me like you weak. Stop talking, or at least push him like if he needs to choose. Either you suck and you can't do it, or you're like that. Pick one, please.
Also, just to add on, don't forget he took prime Roman Reigns to his limit. Like, in storyline, came closer to beating Roman Reigns than anybody else did up until Cody. But for the first time in the history of this shoji, I think I agree with everything that you're saying. I think I'll let you guys talk more about Sami if you want. I think I'm realizing there's a bigger problem with Triple H's booking. Because I think he only knows how to book 2 tropes. And I think he's addicted to them or he's afraid to get away from it. Number 1 is the bloodline trope. They have 3 bloodlines in WWE right now, technically. Because the Judgment Day, the way they spin out members and rotate members in and out, they've been going for 3 years. And then you've got the new bloodline that continues to add fucking Samoans. And then now you've got Seth Rollins' group, which is just another bloodline. It's just another bloodline. So you've got 3 bloodline stories running right now. He's copying and pasting. He saw the success that the bloodline had, and he's copying and pasting it. And then number 2, because Triple H existed during a time of his reign of terror, everybody was an underdog because you couldn't beat Triple H. So everybody was an underdog. Every babyface he went up against was an underdog. So in his experience, what he's doing with Sami Zayn makes complete and total sense. This is how a babyface acts.
Other than one babyface, there's only one that wasn't. But yeah, you're right.
My bigger point is Triple H. I think we're starting to see some flaws. The honeymoon phase is over, and I think we're starting to see some flaws in his booking, and that is when it comes to, like Malik said, most babyfaces, with few examples or few exceptions, factions, tag teams, and women. He knows one way to book each of those things. And he has no diversity. And he has no flexibility. If you're a babyface, if you're a woman, if you're a faction, if you're a team, there is one way you're getting booked.
I'm sorry. There's one more thing I have to address because I saw it earlier. And I'm trying to make sure I quote it right. Coach Mark, I believe you're the one who said it. Hating on Sammy Balboa. My nigga. He's not Rocky Balboa either, because you know what? Imagine Rocky Balboa after beating Clubber Lane still acting like Rocky won when he lost so close to the champion in his first professional fight. Bro, you beating Clubber Lane. Imagine Rocky after putting Drago down, that Russian Swiss machine. Imagine after that, his next professional fight, he like,
Rocky stopped being an underdog after he beat Clubber Lane. The first time he got beat by Clubber Lane, he was doubting himself, so he was scared. He was scared.
Because he had a reality check. Because you can almost say he wasn't an underdog after he beat Apollo, but Mickey was like, yeah, I set up those fights. You weren't ready. You lost your hunger, right? That's a self-doubt thing, my nigga. After you beat Clubber Lane?
Man, he was good at that.
You fucking like that, nigga.
Stan in chat just pointed out the 5th Triple H trope. Every big main event needs to have 6 entrances, 3 returns.
I'm so tired of it.
Okay, wait.
I'm so tired of it.
Okay, wait.
That's another one. I'm getting sick of it. It's getting old.
This is. I'm not even going to defend this nigga because I can't stand Triple H right now. That nigga pissed me off. But there's another trope that we didn't discuss as well. And I'm gonna make a video on it later. But a part of me should have known Karrion Kross wasn't going to win. I know Karrion Kross is a Triple H guy. Like, that's been, like, legit known, right? That's why he pushed them so hard in NXT. But Jey Uso, how long did it take him forever to pull the trigger?
3 years or 2 years.
LA Knight, has he even pulled the trigger?
No.
The only motherfucker I know in recent memory that came in under Triple H's watch was super hot and he pulled the trigger was Jacob fucking Fatu. And Braun Breaker. Even though but I mean, what's Braun Breaker doing right now? Oh yeah, he's with the other Triple H guy, Seth Rollins. And the difference is Braun Breaker's a fucking heel. I'm really starting to think that Triple H, he started. I don't know what happened after WrestleMania 40, but I genuinely think he is booking to say fuck you to the IWC. I think every week he says, "What does the internet say?" Okay, cool. I'm gonna make sure I piss him off. There's no way. Like, we're doing this on a consistent basis, and I know you watch the internet. You're very aware. You're not young, but you're too young not to be aware. Like, you're not Vince at the age of 80. Oh, how do you work this ticky-tacky thing?
I think it's a thing too. People got to remember I think it's a Sami Zayn character effect. Triple H has always saw Sami Zayn as an underdog babyface character. It goes back to the NXT days. Sami Zayn and Bayley were the two people in that time frame from 2014 to 2016 in that particular time frame who could be really good baby faces to get real sympathy from the fans. Like, Sami Zayn would lose matches and people would feel sorry for him. They feel bad for him. You know what I mean? For some reason, he's continued to portray that through Sami Zayn his entire babyface run. I don't know why he still looks at Sami Zayn as the underdog when he's already overcome so much adversity and already done things to propel him up further. You know what I mean? Like, when Cody Rhodes finished the story, that was the underdog moment, right? He overcame the story. After that, Cody Rhodes was like, I'm the guy. I'm him. You got to go through me if you want to be in the top spot, right? Sami Zayn went the complete opposite direction. He did a whole 360. It was like he beat somebody that was very unstoppable and very, dominant throughout the company, but he didn't portray himself like as somebody he believed in, like as the guy. He was still trying to be like the underdog, and I have to overcome all this adversity and stuff. It's like, bro, we saw you do things that already told us that you overcame the adversity. You don't have to prove that you can overcome adversity. We've already seen it. We know you can do it. Do something different. You know what I mean? Like, prove to us that you're like that. Prove to us you're that guy. So I think, honestly, that's how they're probably going to lead up to his world championship run. I don't know if he's going to fight Gunther at SummerSlam or whatever, but I'm going to say here first. Don't be surprised. Next year in Saudi, Sami Zayn come in number one, go through the whole adversity of that Royal Rumble and win that whole thing.
And here's the thing, because I knew that was going to come up.
That's my prediction, by the way.
And here's my thing when it comes to the Royal Rumble spot at one. Maybe if he was acting like he would like that, and now here's a new adversity hill you have to climb. Okay, cool. Right? There's nothing wrong with facing new adversity. Sami Zayn been facing the same adversity since Neville.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking adversity to him. Also, fucking when it comes to Sami Zayn, this is why Triple H just put me on the writing staff, because I promise you would have no problems. I said a long ass time ago, when we were debating on who Gunther was going to fight at Mania, we all assumed it was going to be Chad Gable. But I think it was like right before we got to the Chad Gable Sami Zayn match to determine, right? Whatever that was. Or the gauntlet, whatever the fuck they did. I said, to me, if you want to tell this story of Sami trying to be a world champion, this is how you should do it. You already have the high of him coming off of main eventing WrestleMania. I'm going to keep saying that. Sami Zayn is a WrestleMania main eventer. You ended the longest title reign in WrestleMania. You should go from main eventing WrestleMania to not even being on the card for 40, and you can tell that story for a whole year, to then at 41, you win the world title. That is how that 3 Mania plan should have went. They should have had him. Everything that you did to 39, great. Wonderful. Yep. Chad Gable should have been the one to beat Gunther. Sami Zayn should not have been on the card. And then 41, after telling this Oh man, I can literally see the promo package interview with Sami Zayn. Man, I went from main eventing with my best friend Kevin Owens to not even being on the card the next year. I feel like I'm lost. I feel like I don't know what to do. And then you tell that story. If Jey Uso can win the fucking Royal Rumble, a WrestleMania main eventer can win the fucking Royal Rumble. Give that Rumble spot to Sammy. You can do it the exact same way. Get to Gunther. That is a much better story. And now I can believe, okay, Sami Zayn, you did have to come. You have to overcome a new adversity. It's kind of like how we were doing it with like you kind like Rocky Balboa. See, Coach Mark, I'll be more believable he's Rocky then because not being on the card at 40 is his Clubber Lang moment. Like, man, I was on top of the world doing all this, but now I'm not even on the card. Like, I got to get there. And the only way I can get there, I got to win the Royal Rumble. I got to be a champion. I have to. Like, that's literally how you write that off. Literally how you write that off. And you can maybe not know 51 days because I think 51 days is still a little crazy. But you can still give him a Damian Priest-like world title run. You can still do that. Yeah. We're good. Sami Zayn, world champion. I'm not sitting here crashing out because y'all keep telling, like, bro, he's not a bitch. Stop putting him on screen and making him act like one. He's not a bitch. He's good. He's great even.
That should have went away when he hit Roman in the back with the chair. That should have been dead.
Yeah, that should have been Sammy reclaiming his manhood, really, reclaiming his identity. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, who knows? Maybe it'll all pay off if he does win the Rumble, if he does win the title. But the problem is, to G's probably his concern. The problem is if he wins the title and then comes out on the Raw after Mania and then is immediately confronted with another obstacle and Michael Cole is selling it like, how is Sammy ever going to get past this? It won't matter. It won't matter.
He called He called beating Kerry and Cross
a miracle. I didn't even hear that. That's crazy.
Bro, go back and watch it because somebody told me that and I had to go rewatch it to make sure they were aligned. I was sick.
Was it when he hit the haluva kick?
It was after. It was during the pin, like 1, 2. Sami Zayn with the win. What a miracle, or some shit like that. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
I was like, what?
Not every. Oh. Okay.
Not, bro, I swear, Michael Cole, he been trying to find that WrestleMania ever since he said it.
Ever since
he said that WrestleMania.
I'm like, here's the thing, bro. He already topped it with Heist of the Century, bro. He need to let it go.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie.
That's his best call to me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Michael Cole really had back-to-back elite calls, like elite.
Like Heist of the Century, I'm like.
And he been finish the story was a nice call too.
Oh, that like I rewatched that this morning, bro. I cried again.
Yeah, finish the story was an elite one, but
finish.
Hot take: Byron Saxon's Kofi call was better than all of them.
That's beautiful.
That was beautiful. I mean,
I'm not mad at that.
I don't know if it's better, but it's definitely up there.
I'm not mad at that.
It's definitely up there.
Because you can feel the emotion from Byron with that.
And it's up there with Jim Ross to Triple H, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Nah, Jim Ross's call on the Austin heel turn. He shook hands with Saint himself.
Stem Cell Zayn is crazy. Stem Cell Zayn is crazy.
What?
Stem Cell Zayn. Y'all are stupid.
Stem Cell Zayn.
I'm done ranting. I wish Karrion would have won.
You cooked. I can't even.
Him losing wasn't really the biggest issue for me.
Beast Mode, the problem is not Cole. WWE has been clip farming for the past 3 years. Everything they do with the drones and all that shit, it's they're more interested with how many views their TikTok is going to get than with the quality of what's going on in the ring. And that's not overall, it's not for everything, but for a lot of the things that they do, they're more interested in how do we get this clip to go viral on TikTok than they are with, and that's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother problem that they have.
No. There's social media's taking over the platforms now, so they want to get the clips and the views and the likes and the interaction from the social media world. They want the viral moments.
I just wish they would stop putting on TV. Yeah, our Instagram page got this many views, bitch. We don't care. Like we know. Like it's WWE. Duh. Like the NFL doesn't come out in the middle of their broadcast talk about, hey, that clip of Saquon hurting the Jags defender got 10 million views. Like do that shit. Like we know it's a viral moment. We know niggas was watching that.
They try too hard, man.
All right.
Anybody else got a rant they want to get off real quick?
I'm going through my mind. I'm going through the show.
Sami Zayn was probably the only one.
I think my biggest issue. Oh, go ahead, Jay, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say overall the show was just kind of, which it was a Saudi show, but overall the show was just kind of mad to me. Cody and Randy was the match of the night. Asuka and Jade was the worst match of the night. I don't guess I had a huge problem with a lot of the booking, except for the fact that you had title matches occurring on SmackDown instead of at a pay-per-view that was called Night of Champions. But that's we've discussed Night of Champions isn't really Night of Champions anymore. We've talked about that. No, so I guess overall the show was just, man, it was forgettable. Punk and Cena was okay. Again, I could have done without the fucking WrestleMania 40 entrant shenanigans and all that.
That's what I was about to get into.
Okay, well, get into that, Mo, because that was my biggest problem. I'll let you take the lead on it because,
man, Cena and Punk was genuinely so enjoyable. Like that was Cena's, and it's not a high bar, but that was Cena's best in-ring work all year. And then they just start doing the stupid ass run-ins, a 12-minute ref bump. And I don't want to hear, because I know people are going to be like, oh, but y'all didn't complain when Roman Reigns was doing it. We started complaining when it became excessive. So I don't want to hear that shit. Let's not do that revisionist history. Just let the matches play out. Stop doing the excessive run-in. Stop doing the excessive interferences. It's way too much. 12 minutes for a ref bump is asinine.
Yeah, 12 minutes is crazy. 12 minutes is crazy.
Shout out to
That's
Charles
worse than
Robinson.
Triple H
How old is
Undertaker
that
WrestleMania
dude for
X7.
taking that
He's in his
bump?
50s. He's in his 50s.
Like, holy hell.
They replayed the WrestleMania 24 run.
I understand where y'all are coming from. I guess my thing is I don't really care about interferences if I know it makes sense for what you're setting up. So me, I've been saying for when Mania 41 hit and we got the Seth turn and all that, right. Malik was like, oh yeah, we might get Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns. I was like, no, Seth and CM Punk, because they still haven't had their third match. Because Punk pinned them the first time and Seth won because Roman Reigns interfered in steel cage. I was like, they still haven't had their third match. I know WWE. They don't like to leave things tied. They're going to have a third match. That's SummerSlam for you. That's what I said. I was like, that's easily SummerSlam because, well, no, originally I said Cena and Punk were going to go SummerSlam. That's what I thought. But I was like, after Seth and them finished. But once they didn't do the third match, I was like, okay, they're pushing it out to SummerSlam. So for me, it makes sense. I thought it was weird how Seth Rollins didn't interfere at all in the lead up to the Punk. Like there was no segment or nothing. He was just dealing with LA Knight. So to me, this always was the plan, right? I don't think Seth is going to fail to cash in, but I mean, well, I don't think he's going to fail it anymore. But to me, they're setting up Seth and CM Punk because I don't know if LA Knight has a real injury or it's a kayfabe injury, but Seth versus LA Knight doesn't hit the same as Seth versus CM Punk at SummerSlam, especially because it's 2 nights. So the interferences to me, the only thing I don't like is that Sami Zayn is the one that keeps interfering. Like, why are you the one interfering? You have a feud. You're in a feud. And that's why it also pissed me off. He's been so distracted with everything else. Karrion Kross should have been able to take advantage of it.
That is fair.
I'm still not, two things on that. I'm still not 100% confident that Seth isn't going to fail his cash in. Because
I would be so mad.
The fact that they're keeping Roman so far away to try and make us forget that Roman is out there sort of is giving me cause for pause. And LA Knight, I'm pretty sure they're just giving him time off. I mean, dude's been wrestling every week for the better part of 3 years, 2 or 3 years. So I think LA Knight might just be getting some time off. But I still think there might be a 50-50 shot that Seth fails that cash in.
Yeah. If it's because of Roman, that would be hilarious. But
I think Seth is going to successfully cash in because I think they're telling the story of he's turning slowly into the two guys that he hates the most, and that's Roman and Punk.
Exactly.
So I think he's actually going to win, which is going to allow him to have the control, and then Roman is going to have to try to take it all down.
Who takes the title from Seth?
CM Punk.
Not Roman.
Or Sammy at WrestleMania.
I think next year's WrestleMania is going to be Cody and Punk for the title, and I think it's going to be Roman and Seth at WrestleMania next year. That's what I think they're going to do. The direction.
So if you think it's going to be Cody and Punk, do you think Seth is going to have a small reign?
I think Punk will probably win it like in Saudi. like at the Rumble or something, like in Saudi Arabia or something like that. Like,
so you think Punk beats? You think Punk is going in as the champion?
no, Seth will go into Saudi as the champion, but
no, Punk going into
yeah, Punk will go into Mania as champion, and Cody, I think they're taking Cody a step back from the title picture because he's bound to be champion again, right? He's going to be the champion, but he needs another big opponent for WrestleMania next year, and they've already kind of dabbled into the Punk and Cody stuff. That's bound to happen. I feel like Seth is going to cash in at SummerSlam, which is going to not only take the title from Cena, but strip the championship from Cody. And I think Cody will then have to go back to square one, where he's going to have to go back to the drawing board and have to figure out how to get back to the championship and get back to his top spot. Maybe that's a story with Randy Orton they could tell for the rest of the year, but they're going to have to build him all the way back up to Mania. And then for Cena, he's already turning slowly back into a babyface. I think him losing the championship is going to start to have him have a change of attitude because he was on this quest of doing something bad, and now he's not the champion anymore. I think it's going to do a whole 360 for his character arc for him to get back to that babyface, run, because his babyface turn might be bigger than his heel turn, if we're being honest. Like, people are waiting for it, and that pop last night just by shaking CM Punk's hand, bro. Like, they ready for that.
I think they knew the meme was coming.
Yeah, they ready for that babyface turn from Cena. I think they're gonna build up for Seth to be champion for a bit for the rest of the year, and then CM Punk takes the title from Seth Rollins in Saudi, and then I think that's gonna lead into the Roman and Seth story too as well, because Roman's biggest kryptonite has always been Seth Rollins in WWE. Seth destroyed the Shield. Seth has always beaten Roman in big, high-profile matches when it's mattered the most, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. Even when Roman retained the championship, he wasn't able to beat Seth Rollins convincingly because Seth had the mental edge over Roman when he got inside of his head. The WrestleMania main event this year, when CM Punk was involved and everything, he stole Paul Heyman from him. Like, I think that story is going to culminate at WrestleMania, and then they're going to tell the story of Cody and Punk for the championship, where Cody eventually gets the title back and gets.
So, I hear what you're saying, and Jade and Mo, you're probably not going to like hearing this.
Oh god!
But I think SummerSlam, that main event, I think we're getting all the bells and whistles again. Because here's what I think. I think Randy Orton is turning heel on that show.
Oh, okay.
I think Randy Orton is turning heel on that show. And so if they don't do the triple threat like they were kind of alluding to,
I wish they would have done that.
Well, I think they might. They have time.
That's why I think Randy could be involved. Like, just based off what
but I'm saying I don't think Cody is going to walk out of SummerSlam as champion just yet.
No, he's not.
I think so.
No, but I don't think he's gonna. I don't think because of the cash in. I think all the bells. I think Seth is gonna try. But we're gonna get all these bells and whistles, and then I think we're gonna get the legacy feud we were waiting on. That big opponent you said that you need before Cody gets the title back. I think it's the legacy feud.
Cool.
Randy could cost Cody, but I feel like somehow he might get himself inserted into that match, because I feel like in Randy's mind now, he really wants to be the guy to beat Cena and become the 15-time champion. Like, I think he wants to be the guy to stop Cena from this crazy reign that he's on. And losing to Cody, I think it's going to kind of mess with his ego a little bit, where he's kind of like, just gonna go like where he hears some voices in his head, like the Apex Predator type vibes. Like, I could see him getting himself into this match somehow. They make it a triple threat. Maybe, Cody wins the cash in, whatever they want to do with that aspect. But I think that would be kind of interesting, because Cena and Cody still have, interesting stories there. Obviously, Cody and Cena has always been the end game. I don't know why people thought that Cody wasn't going to get his rematch against John Cena.
I've seen a lot of confusion about that. I'm very curious as to why.
Yeah.
People just, they don't know, bro. They don't know what they want.
Like, what are y'all watching?
They were never going to have Cody Rhodes lose the way he did at WrestleMania to
not get his lick back
and being their top babyface, for him not to get a rematch for the championship down the road. You know what I mean? Like, he was always going to get another match.
I think the more interesting thing with Cody coming out of this match is he did some real heel shit in that match with Randy. Like, as soon as he saw Randy's back was injured, he pulled him out of the ring and back stretched him across the pole. And then the way that he addressed Randy after the match was a little bit it felt a little bit condescending. Like, it felt like Cody saying, "Hey, Randy, this is me up here. Thanks for showing up. Now, bye-bye." Yeah. It felt like he was like, "Hey, good work, Randy. Now, move along." Well, so I agree. I think we're planting the seeds for something with Randy and Cody, but I think it might also be possible that they're trying to give us the old switcheroo and giving us a little bit of a misdirection with Randy, and it may end up being Cody. I said 6 months ago that I think we might be headed towards a Cody Cena double turn at some point before the end of the year. I think maybe we might be getting close to that because I think with the seeds we're planning with Cena, like Malik said, he had the babyface spot in the match where he saved Punk from a beatdown or whatever. And then planting the seeds with Cody being a little bit condescending and a little bit kind of good boy Randy now shove off with his promo. I'm still holding that we might get a double turn with those two, which would be super interesting after everything that happened.
I definitely agree that we're going to get a double turn. I just think, because remember how like during the title reign, as Cody progressively got more opponents, he got a little bit more like I don't give a fuck about you. Like, yeah, I was nice and I'm cool, but y'all keep trying me, especially during the Kevin Owens feud. And then he went back on it with John Cena. I feel like we're gonna get the Cody Randy feud in the meantime because I just don't see Cena losing the title at SummerSlam because that's 6 months left
at all.
I won't say at all. It's just realistically,
he only has so many dates left too.
He only has like 12 more dates.
12? I don't think it's that long.
That's what I saw. He only has 12.
He's going to be gone for is it 2 or 3 weeks now? He's not scheduled to be on.
Yeah, he's going to be gone for 2 to 3 weeks.
I went back to SummerSlam because they got Evolution. They already said he's doing the Clash in Paris.
Which WWE has mentioned exactly 0 times, by the way, in the past 3
weeks. Yeah, there's been no build to Evolution for real. None. It's sad.
So because he's doing SummerSlam and he's doing Clash of Paris.
He's doing the Crown Jewel show in Australia. They've already announced that.
And when's the Crown Jewel show? October, right?
It's in October, yeah. After that, they haven't announced anything after that.
Right, but I feel like realistically, if I were to put my money on it, I don't think Cena's losing that title. Now, once we get to October, all right, cool. I can see it dropping. Somebody said he's got
16 dates left.
16. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so I can see him dropping it once we get closer to October. I think he's going to drop it on American soil, but nevertheless, I think that's when we'll see it drop. So I think in the meantime, what do you want to give Cody? Let's go ahead and get this legacy feud out the way. And then once he goes back to Cena, Jay, like you kind of said, after dealing with Randy and this, that, and the third, I think he'll finally slap to be like, nah, like I kept dealing with all this bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of it. So I actually learned from you, John Cena, snaps, and we get the double turn.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think I don't know if there's going to be a double turn, but I definitely feel like Cena probably drops it at SummerSlam because he won't need the title the rest of the year. And then that'll lead to his babyface arc of the storytelling of maybe he tries to figure out how to do wrestling without the title. I don't know, whatever they want to tell. I'm not exactly sure, but the babyface turn is coming. It's just only a matter of time before he turns back into the babyface before the end of the year. We're already in the end of June, heading into the beginning of July, so there's not much time left. Shit, I mean, they're gonna have to.
I know exactly how they're gonna do the turn too.
Say the
word. Cena's gonna have that title in his hand. He's gonna look. Crowd gonna chant no. He's gonna look around and take 15 minutes to look around. He's gonna throw it out. Ah! And he's gonna apologize. He's gonna be like, "I'm sorry, Cody Rhodes." Hold on. And then Cody Rhodes is gonna do the move and kick him in the dick.
Yeah, he is.
That'd be crazy.
Well, you got the Cody heel turn happening now?
What do you mean? I've been told you Cody's gonna be a heel. Bro, I literally told you once we got to Mania. I told you once we got to Mania, I was like, bro, that Cody, you said it's like, I don't see Cody turn the heel for like another 2. So I'm like, bro, that Cody Rhodes, I told you I don't see him by Mania 42 not being a heel. I literally told you that.
Yeah, I don't think he turns heel at SummerSlam though. I think they got some other good babyface run out of him. I think they're gonna stretch that out a little longer. I think the cash in more than likely probably will happen. Now if Cena does that and then Cody turns heel at SummerSlam, that would be kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I feel like
that would be early.
Which could play into what I said because the way Cody reacted to Cena at WrestleMania, I said that's gonna play into the story later when Cena is gonna have the match with Cody, and Cody's gonna have another opportunity to pull the trigger like that, but he's not gonna hesitate the second time. He's gonna execute it. So maybe that could happen at SummerSlam where he'd Cena with the championship or something. And in that aspect, I don't know, but I think he's gonna make it very interesting.
That last comment about Beast Mode is my exact concern. My exact concern if they turn him heel.
Okay, but
babyface Mantle.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, they already got somebody. Well, okay, we were talking about babyface Mantle.
Set or someone potentially.
No, they have somebody right now.
Who?
Jey Uso.
Oh God, I did not think that's the name he was gonna say. Don't
Yeah,
mind
that's
him.
the only guy.
No, don't mind him, chat. I'm
My
not gonna
friends,
lie.
what's
no,
wrong
no,
with
no.
you?
Hold on. So when we say babyface run, are we talking about somebody who can replace him as the guy, or just be
As the
top babyface?
face, as the guy,
But
as
no,
the number
but
one.
okay, but wait,
Yeah, so
wait.
Jey Uso won't be the top. He won't be the face of the company, but their top babyface easily could be.
But here's the thing, Cody
Why
Rhodes.
can't CM Punk do it?
I was just about to
CM
say
Punk's
it.
another
All
one.
right, that's a better name.
No, because I was gonna say Cody Rhodes is not gonna be a heel for a long time. He's still gonna be your face of the company. He's just gonna have a little heel run, and in the meantime, you got CM Punk, who I don't see ever turning heel in this run with WWE.
He better not. What's the point?
Well, because at least Cody, we gotta see one. CM Punk, I've been there, done that. We're good on that game. We're good.
Not gonna
your
hit
heel
until
run, your heel run was an AEW. That was your heel run. We're good off that.
His whole life.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Jay.
Yeah, if we're talking,
but he can. They got CM Punk. Y'all love LA Knight. Y'all love Sammy fucking Zayn, don't y'all? The little underdog from the underground.
Hell yeah.
If we're talking somebody who's going to be their top babyface as like you're going to be the face of the company, like you're going to be the draw, then CM Punk would be that guy. Like he would be somebody you would put in the face of the company because that's the guy that's going to main event like WrestleMania. That's the guy that's going to main event your big shows. But if we're talking just the aspect of who could be the top babyface when it comes to merch sales, you know, for the little kids and everything, Jey Uso is literally that guy right now. He's literally the other guy right now besides Cody.
I think Jey Uso is a solid.
I mean, we hear it every week. You see it every week.
No, hold on. Time out. I think Jey Uso is a solid 1B or a solid number 2. Yes, he's going to move merch.
Right.
Yes, the live crowd loves him. Yes, the children love him. Those are big parts of it. But when you're talking about a guy who can go out at the end of Raw or can go out at the top half of the second hour when interest is waning and do a 20-minute back and forth promo that is engaging and original, Jey Uso isn't that guy. Jey Uso is the kind of guy to go out.
Yeah, he's not that guy, but I mean WWE.
But that's my problem. CM Punk can do that. I think LA Knight, if given the opportunity, could do that. But who knows what they're going to do with him?
Yeah.
Jey Uso is always going to be a solid number 2 or a solid 1B. I don't think he can be what Cody is.
Wait.
That's not what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying he'll be Cody. I'm saying if they need somebody just to be the top babyface.
Well, no, but that's what the person in chat was asking. If not Cody, then who? They're asking who's going to step up into Cody's role. And
man, fuck the Jey Uso. I rock with you, but fuck the CM Punk, and I damn sure don't want to hear no Sami Zayn. Guys, Jacob Fatu.
Oh, okay.
We're good. We're good. Jacob Fatu can easily, right now, be the top babyface on SmackDown if Cody Rhodes turns heel. Right now, I don't care. I honestly don't care. If Jacob Fatu on Friday said, "You know what, Cena? We going. Hey, you better get in where you fit in. I'm locked. I'm here. I can't wait."
The problem is, ironically, and this is super ironic, but the problem is Jacob Fatu is going to be wrapped up in the Bloodline vortex for a long time.
Oh, like, to War Games, for sure.
It's ironic that Jacob Fatu is now trapped in the Bloodline.
There's different areas to it. If we're talking about somebody who's going to be the literal face, like the number 1 guy, going to be the main events and everything, CM Punk is the only guy. He's the only guy in the question. It's not going to be anybody else. CM Punk is the only guy that's going.
If he showed up to work.
CM Punk is the only guy. CM Punk is the only guy that's going to move merch and feel like an actual main event guy in that spot that you believe belongs in that position, right? Jacob is not right there yet. Jay is not, and that's not his spot either. Like that's just they don't fit those categories right now. Sami Zayn is a no either. Punk would be the only guy right now that would fit in that spot. But if we're talking like babyface that you need to, move merch sales and be like a little inspiration for kids or whatever, like be the top babyface that people can inspire to be like, Jacob doesn't really fit that because he's not that's not his character. Like his character isn't, the little kid type character. He's a character for everybody. Like for the adults and everything, he's not stop. He's not no little kid character that people go.
He's not gonna cape for that.
No, he is not a little kid character.
That's Jey Uso.
But he can definitely inspire little kids to be that motherfucking nigga. He can definitely inspire them to
What
be
is
that
it?
motherfucker.
1999?
Yeah.
What you mean? So you mean to tell me Jey Uso inspiring kids to be a loser?
Wow.
Yes. Honestly,
That's the problem, then. So all I'm hearing is
they don't care.
Good cook. I'm not gonna lie, good cook.
They don't care.
We gotta change it. We gotta change that. Then we gotta see.
Yeah,
That's
the kids don't care, bro. They
That's
gonna like somebody like that because they want to be just like him. They don't care.
So they want to be like losers. That's the problem. That's that Vic. Actually, let me. That's,
Yo, sir.
They don't know any better.
Brakes.
They just kids, bro. They just kids. We all had.
Pump the brakes.
I just put it like this. That's participation trophy award behavior. I will leave it at that.
Well, yeah, they kids, bro. Like they don't know the difference between.
Wait. So Jacob being somebody who came from the gutter, was in jail, and turned his life around. That's not an inspirational story.
Yeah, for people who can understand the product, sure.
Yeah, the kids ain't gonna understand that. They're gonna be like jail.
Wait. So wait. Was Jeff Hardy inspirational to kids?
Look here.
Yes, but Jeff Hardy wasn't going to
That was
prison.
not a part of his character
What
at
do
all.
you mean? Jeff Hardy wasn't getting arrested for DUI.
We didn't know about that as kids. We don't know that.
Y'all didn't know about it.
When I was a teenager and an adult, yeah.
Bro, y'all did it. So it wasn't reported when we was young. Is that Jeff
Or
Hardy
until
got
CM
DUIs?
Punk made it apparent.
Is that not when you were kids?
Negro.
Yeah, that was
I was still a kid before that.
teenagers, bro. That's like we were teenagers at the time.
How old were you, Mo, when
2000
CM Punk and Jeff Hardy had their feud? How old were you?
2009.
Were you not a kid?
I was a teenager, bro. I was like 13.
Bro, it wasn't made apparent to me until CM Punk brought it up. That's what I'll say.
And
That's why I
if
asked you, how old were you?
If
during
most
the CM Punk
23 in
feud?
2009, he was like 6, 7. Like
7.
But Jeff Hardy was still an inspiration to you, right? That even though you could mess up and do this, that, and the third, you can still overcome that and be better. And ironically, Jeff
I didn't know
Hardy,
what drugs were.
Hey, ironically, Jeff Hardy is now going around telling people to do the same thing CM Punk was trying to get him to do. If that's not Impact, Jane, I don't know what is.
Wow.
By the way,
nobody knew when you were a kid. They just
I didn't know what I thought drugs were medicine.
Nobody paid attention to stuff that was going outside of WWE. You only watched what you saw on TV.
So Mo, nobody ever came to your school during Red River Week talk about drugs are bad?
My nigga, I was in second grade, bro. What? That didn't happen till like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade type shit.
That's bullshit, bro.
I just want to call out. There's a lot of love right now in chat for a returning Drew McIntyre being a babyface and taking up that role.
You said Jacob Fatu's a criminal.
Drew McIntyre already showed that he could carry the company. He did that already. So yes, I definitely think that Drew McIntyre could be that.
Drew in the top babyface spot though. I don't know, man.
Hey, what are you talking about? He literally carried the company during.
Yeah, but that was before he went on this whole different character arc of things that he's done in the last 2 years, though.
But that's made him more popular. That I think when he eventually turns back around to being a babyface, all of this that he's doing right now is giving him a new respect for his acumen, his ability, and his presentation. So make him a babyface, but make him more of a badass instead of the white meat babyface that he was in 2020. Make him more of a badass, but still be a babyface. And yes, absolutely. Sell rubber swords, sell T-shirts with his kick-ass logos on it. Fucking do whatever you want. But yeah, Drew McIntyre for sure could be that guy.
Well, Jade, I'm not saying he can't do it. I think me personally, I just don't want to see that shit.
Also,
Proud of Fiend, real quick. Jacob Fatu is a criminal. Let me ask a question. Has Jeff Hardy not been arrested for driving under the influence?
Oh my God.
Yes.
Has he not broken the law and been jailed for it?
Pretty sure the Usos were banned from
Then
Canada for a while.
Then fucking Jeff Hardy's a criminal too then. Since that's what we doing.
That's not the same as being a thug, nigga.
A criminal's a criminal. Oh my God. Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off, bro. Don't piss me off.
Bro, that is not in a high. There's levels to this, my nigga. There's levels to this. That is literally.
He didn't say Jacob Fatu was a worse criminal than Jeff Hardy. All he said was
He literally no. He literally said drugs. Word for word, drugs is different than being a motherfucking thug.
But they're both criminals. They're both criminals.
When we're kids, we're gonna look at guns. Worse than we're gonna look at.
What are we doing, bro?
Hey, chat. Can somebody confirm this? Can you get arrested, or how many more years?
Thank you, bro.
Yo, no, I'm asking chat, and you can confirm this for me. Chat. Anybody who wants to do it, shout out y'all, all my G maniacs in the chat. Can somebody tell me what you get more time for? Driving drunk or under the influence, or robbing a store? Which one you get more years for? Actually, I'm sorry. I don't know why Jacob Fatu was in prison. I don't know what he did. I thought it was like robbery or something, but I'm not sure. I don't know what Jacob Fatu did. But the criminals are criminals, bro. I'm sorry. Like, yes, there's different levels. No. Yes, there are different levels. I'm not saying there's not different levels.
That's where you start losing me.
Mo, then you're not listening. No. Because literally, there are different levels. You are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. There are different levels. See, that's what I thought. I knew Fatu got arrested for robbing. Right. So that's what I thought. There are different levels to criminals. Yes, I'm not saying that. All that's why you get different amount of years for depending on the crime you get. So yes, you are right. There are different levels. But if what Prada Fiend is saying, Jacob Fatu's a criminal, so he can't be, because the context is trying to be an inspiration to kids and stuff. And if he's trying to say, well, Jacob Fatu's a criminal, so he can't be an inspiration to kids. I'm sorry, I don't know what's inspirational to little kids about doing drugs and having an addiction. Kids, I don't know what's. You think doing drugs is inspirational?
Nobody knows that as a kid, bro. Nobody knows that.
You're missing the point. Yes. When you're a kid, there's certain crimes you understand, and there's other crimes you don't. When you're a kid, when I was like 6, 7, I'm not gonna understand drugs, bro. I don't understand that shit. But I'm gonna understand niggas shooting each other or robbing shit.
Hey, for all my people in the chat,
like swiping was introduced to me real early, my nigga.
I want y'all to tell me when Red Ribbon Week came to your school, because I know everybody had it. Everybody
had it, but nobody. When they came to our school, I didn't pay attention to that stuff. I don't know.
Oh God!
But you paid attention to don't steal pencils. It's bad. You paid attention to that shit.
Because that's simple. When we're kids, our brains are simple.
Don't do drugs. It's 3 words. It's 3 words.
We don't know what drugs are.
Revolution's gonna be.
Oh my God! I can't.
We don't know what drugs are. When we're 6, 7, we don't understand. People confirmed it to me in the chat too. They didn't know what the fuck those were.
Pretty popular.
They come to your school, but no,
we don't care. Cool. I'm chilling with the homie talking to them. I don't give a fuck.
Let me clarify before we move on. Chat. All crimes are not the same. We get that. We understand that. Anybody with a basic level of understanding knows all crimes are not the same, chat. We get that. But to Prada Fiend's comment, he's basically saying, wait. For Prada, guys, again, I'm saying it again. All crimes are not the same. We understand that. We get it. Duh, common sense. Right? Just how I know y'all ain't listening. Y'all are just being dense on purpose. We know all crimes aren't the same. But Prada Fiend's comment was, Jacob Fatu can't do this because he was a criminal. He can't be an inspiration to kids because he is a criminal. And I'm saying, and if we really want to go there, we can go down the list of a lot of people who were fucking criminals. Who can still be an inspiration? People were still cheering. What Undertaker say? Niggas used to walk in with knives and guns and shit to the fucking.
All I know is that I suddenly have an urge to smoke a joint and rob a store. That's all I'm saying.
You said what?
I suddenly have the urge to smoke a joint and rob a store.
Well, I have the urge to do one of those things.
Put the drag on when you do it.
I have the urge to do one of those things. I don't know about the other.
There's different levels to it, bro. Like,
yeah, like you're a kid. We're not gonna understand when you're a child.
But we're saying when you're a kid, you don't.
When you're an adult, obviously,
when we watch things, the people who like Jeff Hardy mainly liked him because they just watched him on TV. They didn't know he had issues outside of wrestling. Like, we just watched him on TV.
Can you not say that about Jacob Fatu? People just like watching him on TV. He's
entertaining. Sure, but the internet's more open nowadays.
They've literally made his character. He was so dangerous.
You could just Google whatever.
That they didn't want to bring him in.
Because he started off as a heel.
That too.
He's a heel now. Everybody love him now. I mean,
he's getting the popularity. Of course, Jacob is going to be in one of the most popular characters for a while.
CM Punk called Jeff Hardy a drug addict who can't control himself, but everybody loves that shit.
Because he was being a dick about it.
CM Punk was in the right.
You're not going to get it. It's just
you know what's so funny to me?
You're not going to connect.
You know what's so funny to me?
You're just like, oh, he's being an asshole.
CM Punk
I was old enough at the time, so I
CM Punk was being a dick for saying, hey, you were an addict, you have a problem. Right? But when AJ Styles tell him, yo, bro, you fucking up everything we're trying to build because of your fucking addiction, everybody cool with that. Everybody ain't got an issue with AJ Styles telling them. See,
I barely remember that.
AJ Styles literally was like, yo.
That was in a backstage segment.
Yeah, AJ Styles was literally like, bro, you fucking destroyed everything I'm trying to. I don't even want to look at you right now. Bro, he looked at Jeff Hardy like he was the shit up underneath his shoe after that fucking thing. CM Punk is literally telling you, hey, Jeff, get out of your own fucking way and stop being a drug addict.
Remember when Sheamus and Jeff Hardy had a street fight in a bar? That was kind of cool.
That was cool.
That was fun.
No, but okay. So let me ask you this: overcoming drug and alcoholism, drug addiction, alcoholism, is that more inspirational than overcoming being a thug? Please tell me.
So so if you use it as a base, like just a base blanket statement, it still depends. But the reason why I'm saying it still depends is because the context, right, that we go behind it, right? The context, if we add the context as being a thug, right? This is gonna be nasty. I'm telling you right now, just prefacing it. But like sometimes, right, and especially us as African American.
Oh yeah, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up.
All I'm saying.
Go ahead.
What? You ain't even let me finish.
No, finish.
Oh, if you're gonna play that, that's ridiculous because I'm actually defending us. Okay, unlike
finish.
Unlike you in your Discord.
Here we go.
With him joining a gang and getting and robbing stuff because I think the chat confirmed it and all that. I don't know exactly what his upbringing was, right? I don't know where he came from. I don't know how tough it was, this, that. And we've heard people, we've seen too many actual gang members be like, yeah, you joined because 9 times out of 10, you can't really get it any other way, this, that, and third. Jeff Hardy, right? In his case, we know why he ended up doing all the drugs and stuff because he kept breaking his back, doing all this extreme stuff, and it got to a problem where he wouldn't ask for help, right? So there's the context you add there. So at that point, right, you got to add. But in the case of Jeff Hardy, he started his addiction as an adult, right? Okay. You a grown adult. You knew what Red Ribbon Week was. You knew what you was doing, and you was too grown. You too grown not to ask for help. Jacob Fatu, at the time of his age, I don't know what age he got arrested. I don't know. So maybe the chat can help me with context too. But all I'm saying is it depends. So it's really hard to answer which one is easier and which one's not. My point is, they're both inspirations, though. You overcame getting arrested. You overcame being in a gang and all that. So now you're a WWE star, making your life for the better. You overcame doing all the drugs, even though Jeff Hardy kept relapsing. You overcome doing all these drugs, and like so many times he kept relapsing. It was crazy.
Pisses me off too.
Literally. So you overcame doing all that. You overcame, and now you're living a clean life and this, that, and the third. They're both inspirations. They both can inspire kids. The only thing where I was really pushing back is because I felt like Prada Fiend was trying to say Jeff Hardy can inspire kids, but Jacob can't because Jacob is a criminal. When if you really break it down, they both are. And if anything, Jeff Hardy kept relapsing and doing it. Oh, he kept coming out to the crowd. I'm sorry, I'm better. And then would fall back into the trap. And then would fall back into the trap. And kept doing it over and over and over. That's my only point. I don't think, you saying Jacob Fatu is a criminal, yeah, it's different, right? But they both can still be inspirational to kids.
Okay, so I don't disagree with anything you just said. What I'm saying is, I don't think that's why Jeff Hardy was inspirational to people at all. Like his addiction and all that had nothing to do with why people were.
I think afterwards they kept hammering.
Maybe later on in life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
maybe later on in life.
But it became knowledge to the public though, so that they had to.
Yeah, and so
that's when it became a thing.
He would have to come and apologize, and But I think the way I'm looking at it, I'm looking at what how WWE usually is. I don't see them placing Jacob in that role for like that inspiration. Like that's not the role.
No, they're not going to drop everything.
He could be a top babyface, but do I see them putting him in that spot? No, not really. Like that's what Cody Rhodes is there for. That's Jey Uso. Those guys fit that role that they're looking for that white meat babyface that we call it, in that spot. Jacob can be a top babyface, and he can still be an inspiration, sure. But when we're talking about, go back to the question of who's going to replace Cody in that spot, CM Punk is the only logical option that I feel like. Even then, so if you're looking at my only thing, if you're looking at the white meat babyface, Jey Uso is the only other guy that I'm looking at right now that fits that role. There's nobody else.
You think Jey Uso is a white meat babyface?
Yes.
Yes, especially the last couple of years.
Yes. Yes.
That's his role. He even does it now.
When he first turned, no.
He's taking up little kids in his entrance, and they doing all the entrance and everything.
I mean, good point. I guess I just never look at him that way. I think Sami Zayn's a more white meat babyface than Jey Uso.
They're both.
They don't portray him in that role, though. They don't portray like Sami in that
role. Trust me. I know what role they portray Sami Zayn.
Yeah, like if we're really being honest with the context, Jey Uso got the opportunity because of the movement of the people. Because the people put him in that spot. Like they made him as popular as he was. He got the Royal Rumble win because of that. If he wasn't having that crazy movement, they would never gave him that opportunity, that spot. They weren't never looking at Jey Uso as somebody they can market and somebody they can potentially make a world champion. The people are the one, which was ironically, people complain about him all the time, but the people don't want to put him in that spot. They're the ones who voiced up and made him that popular.
That's why he only held that title for 51 days. Shout out Jey Uso.
Right. So I think he's the other white meat babyface. Like I said, you look at his entrance, he comes out with little kids and he picking up kids in the audience and doing the whole entrance and everything. Like that's the role that I like. That's go back to the point I was saying. Like if there's gonna be somebody to replace Cody in that role, if Cody turns heel, it would just be him. Would he be their top guy, the number one face of the company? No, that's not Jey Uso's position. But to be the white meat babyface, that's him.
I will say
my
the
concern
story
is if it's
makes
gonna work.
sense though for Jay.
It's already been working.
To be the top babyface?
It's been him and Cody, like literally right there. It's for like a year. It's literally been those two.
And when Cody was gone, before Cody came back, Jey Uso was the top babyface in the company.
We see these niggas' reactions every week on TV, bro.
Literally
every week, no matter where they go.
My only concern with Jay is what I said a minute ago: is his ability to hold an audience's attention for 20 minutes in a back and forth promo because he's kind of one gear. But the story makes sense for Jey Uso to slot in because he can literally slot in and be Cody's first op because he can be the one to slot in and say, "Yo, Cody, what's up, man? What are we doing? This isn't you." Da 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 da. And then again, yeah. So, you know what? Fuck it, make it Sheamus. Sheamus can be.
You talking about Jay turning heel?
No, I'm talking about Jay being the number one babyface. If Cody turns heel, for Jay to come in and say, "Cody."
Oh, for Jay to come in and be.
Yeah, they said Ultimate Warrior in 1990. I'm dead. That's tough.
Warrior was their top guy though. He was popular.
They went right back to Hogan.
His experiment didn't work though because Warrior had issues that he couldn't get over. You know what I mean? So it didn't work. The way he
wasn't a draw. They just went right back.
Well, it wasn't even that he was a draw. It was just he had things going on backstage that he couldn't get over. You feel me? Like he thought he was bigger than the company. You know what I mean?
Jey Uso got things going on in front of the camera that is going to hinder
Monday Night Jester is so crazy.
His promos and stuff, but even then, even though his promo game or his matches may not always consistently be great for a lot of people, people who like him generally do not. They do not care. They
don't care about none of that.
They don't care how bad his promo game is. They do not care how bad his matches will be. They love this nigga, bro.
Yeah,
they probably like Jimmy versus Jay.
Consistently been on his side for 3 years,
and that's the definition of a white meat babyface to me. It could also be termed as the do no wrong babyface. Doesn't matter what this guy does. Doesn't matter what he does or win or lose. He's going to go out there. He's going to get the crowd behind him. He's going to say all the right things, do all the right things. He's never going to cheat. He's never going to take shortcuts. So yeah, again, Jey Uso has earned my respect for the past year, especially the fact that it came out of nowhere. It was,
I think the people who genuinely like him, they just feel like he's cool. Like they want to be him. Like if they were a wrestler, I want to be that guy. He's cool. He comes out to a cool entrance, cool theme, but they don't care about the things that we critique him for, like the match stuff. They genuinely do not care. They clearly don't. They don't care. His reactions have never changed for the last 3 years. They've even gotten bigger, which is even crazier. He's the only one.
They be making Cam's point.
Eliminate a John Cena in a Royal Rumble and still get cheered.
I think the more interesting conversation is though, if Cody does slot over right to being a heel, and then all of the baby faces then have to move up one level. I think the more interesting question is if let's say that it is Jay that steps up into that next level. The more interesting conversation is the guys that are below him that are going to step up, because then you're talking about guys like Penta. I think if you just pull the trigger with Austin Theory and turn him, I think Austin Theory could be one of those guys. LA Knight could obviously be one of those guys.
Babyface wise,
babyface wise, and then you got guys that all they need is the opportunity. Aleister Black or why am I forgetting his name? Penta's brother.
Ray Phoenix.
That nigga got cooked off, right?
Hey, but that match on SmackDown was
fire. Oh yeah, that shit was elite. But bro, honestly, when they said, "Hey, find a tag partner," I'm like, "Oh, Ray Phoenix is clearly coming back."
And another top babyface that could be the Penta could be another one too. Like for the
he's on my list for sure. Yeah,
Penta could definitely be up there for sure if they want to.
Top babyface, sure, yeah.
LA Knight would be my other answer. I can't say him over Jey Uso just because they haven't shown me that they have any interest in putting him in that position.
Unfortunately, Penta is also stuck in the Bloodline vortex because, again, Seth and his guys were just Bloodline 3.0, and now Penta is stuck in the Bloodline vortex.
Right. Because I feel like Triple H books his shows for 2 checkpoints: War Games and WrestleMania. Those are his checkpoints. Those are his checkpoints. That's why I said as soon as Hikuleo showed up, I was like, yeah, that's one of your War Games matches. Bloodline Civil War again. That's one of them.
Probably more than likely, Octagon Jr. Well, and then somebody mentioned too, it could be realistically, it could be Roman too, but he ain't there enough for it to be him.
Roman would still be the face of the company.
He'd be the easy answer
if he literally just showed up like every other month.
Someone in chat earlier said he's not the OTC, he's the PTO, and that popped me a little bit.
PTO is crazy.
He's the PTO.
PTO.
Whoever that was in chat, give yourself props because I missed who it was. But somebody.
Roman's at a stage in his career though where he's become like this generation's Brock Lesnar, just to a different extent. Like Brock was insufferable for me for a lot of times just because he would come back and just do things, and his stories weren't appealing. His matches barely were good at times. You know what I mean? Like it seemed like they weren't putting effort into anything he was doing. He was the champion. Like, hey, I'm the champion. I'm showing up. Give me Samoa Joe, and you thought that match was gonna be good, and then it was trash. Give me Braun Strowman, you thought that match was gonna be good, then it was trash. And then they fed him to Roman Reigns again for the millionth time. We're like, bro, these repetitive stories with Roman Reigns, like it was bad. For Roman, I feel like for me at least, I wish he would show up a little more. But when he shows up, I'm fully always watching what he does. I gotta see what he's doing. I gotta see who he's gonna be working with, what story direction they're going. But they use him now as an attraction. You know what I mean? Like. He has that special attraction. How many times they advertise Roman Reigns is going to return this week? Roman Reigns is coming back this week. You know what I mean? He's become that special attraction where I feel like, a lot of wrestlers probably want to inspire and be like he has to do the bare minimum. He got himself over. He's at that stage now where he's the big draw. He's going to make a lot of money. Don't got to take as many bumps. Show up half the year and do what he does and then goes away. You know what I mean? And he ain't the champion no more, so people can't complain about that. He ain't got the title no more, so he ain't got no championship. He can show up whenever he wants now. Don't matter when he shows up because ain't got no championship. So
yeah,
that's mainly his role now. You know what I mean? Like that's the role that he's in.
Yeah, Roman is he's not the sole ingredient of a good story anymore. Roman is now you put the story together and then you put Roman Reigns on top of it and it makes it even better. That's the role that he's in.
It's kind of like Roman for a while, like he was integral, crucial. We needed him, and then he did his job, and now the current landscape you can attribute to him for the most part. Not every story, but most of the important stories that are deciding the quote unquote future of WWE, right? He's definitely the catalyst for, right? And then now he can I do want him, but maybe this early part, fine, okay, it's right after Mania, okay, whatever. But I do think I want to see him do more stuff with other people from SummerSlam on.
Get away from Seth.
Once he finishes, because I think the end game is to give Roman that like final win over Seth, just to say he did it. Give him the final win. It doesn't need to be for a title. Just give him the final win, and then I want to see him in the role of like, hey, you're honestly just putting people over now. Like Roman Reigns is not going to lose any aura. Like go put over a Braun Breaker. Right, go put over. I mean, they'll probably never happen, but go put over Carmelo Hayes. Go put over these other people that, like I said, it's probably never gonna happen.
Let's relax a little bit.
That's why I said, bro. That's why I said. That's why I preface.
Go to Jay's point. Somebody said people have to carry feuds when he ain't there. People will contribute to their feuds while he's not there, but when he comes back, he adds on to it to make it bigger. You know what I mean? Remember that image that was a couple years ago when everybody in the bloodline was fighting in the ring, and then Roman's music hit, and then everybody stopped. The whole crowd was like, "Oh shit!" Like everybody in the ring stopped. They was like, "Oh shit, here come Roman Reigns!" Like everybody feels the presence of Roman Reigns when he's there. So he adds that to the story to make it more big time feel. So everybody contributes to the story. He contributes. Other people involved contribute. Like it's a team effort to make the story what it was when it's going to be good. So, but I don't think we're moving out of this. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't think we're moving out of the era of part-timers. I think, honestly, that's going to become an ongoing thing, especially for the top guys. You know what I mean? Like, Brock Lesnar started that for everybody, that trend. I think he showed everybody, hey, if you're a big enough draw, you can get over and you can be a special attraction. You don't got to show up as much. You don't got to take as many bumps. You can still make a lot of money, maybe even more money at that stage and still be as valuable to the brand. So I think the Brock Lesnar effect as playing parts and other superstars looking at that and saying, well, now some people may like the full-time schedule, some people may like the ride, but for other people who reach that level, they could look back and say, well, I could still make millions. I ain't got to show up as much. I could be at home with my family, my kids, do other things.
More power to him.
Don't got to take as many bumps, risking less injuries, and just show up, occasionally and be part of that. Who wouldn't want that lifestyle? Who would want that schedule?
Only thing that we don't want to see, obviously, and I think it wasn't the fact that Brock Lesnar was part-time. It's the fact that, one, he held the title for so long.
Yeah.
And the shit was
hostage.
ass. And the shit was ass. That's the problem.
He'd come back half-assed.
I'm talking for the aspect of the superstar. Like if you're working for the company and you're like, hey, if you get up here, if you're working and you get up to this level, then everybody's gonna get there. But if you get there, man, you can still make
because everybody want to talk shit about it, but everybody would easily take that deal. Roman Reigns even said everybody would take that deal. Like Seth Rollins, you talk about I'm never here. Yeah, I make 10 times more than you and I work 10 times less than you. You take my deal if you could. Especially with your bag. So
and he's so valuable. You're so valuable to the company if you have other opportunities like, hey, I got this Marvel movie coming up and I think I might get it. I'm gonna take this deal and go, sure, go ahead, yeah. Go power to you. Just come back whenever you're done. And like what are you gonna say? You feel me? Like you're making us a lot of money, your revenue is really high. Like, of course you get those opportunities, you have more luxury of having the freedom to be more flexible throughout your schedule. So I think that is going to be on current because Cody said he got maybe another 5 years left, but after 5 years, Cody Rhodes may look back and be like, "Hey,
I think Cody Rhodes is going to do this heel run. He's going to go back to a baby face, and then he's part-time.
Could be.
That's exactly what I think he's doing.
Could be. I could see it. It's not crazy to say. Some people obviously probably won't like it.
And honestly, the part-time thing isn't even a bad thing because I think WWE is really trying to avoid that repetitive cycle we had in the late 2000s and early 2010s. I think they're really trying to avoid that, right? When the Shield came in, right, and obviously they branched off and did their thing, that was the first time I really felt like, in a while, like, oh yeah, we might have new top stars now. That might be like the changing of the guards, the Randys and the all right, Jay, the Randys and the that's a tight zone. The Randys and the Cenas and the Punks were kind of slowly getting away that the Daniel Bryans are showing up now. Eventually they did go to Brock Lesnar, but I think that changing of the guard. I think once Cody becomes a part-timer, I think we're gonna get a new changing of the guard.
I think it plays into it too. Everybody's not gonna be John Cena, where you're just fully dedicated to the product over your own life. You know what I mean? Like not everybody's gonna be fully dedicated to the product like a John Cena, where like this is your obsession, this is your motivation, this is what you love. Like I got hurt, I'm coming back, 3 months earlier than I'm supposed to. Most people who get injured, they're gonna take the time off, spend time with their family, recover properly, do the right things they gotta do to take the steps to come back. John Cena was an animal, at that stage where he's not gonna put his own family even before his business. Like he put WWE for everything for a decade. So not everybody's gonna have that type of dedication to the brand. Doesn't mean you don't love it, but there's other things people have in their real life. Some people got family, some people have other opportunities and other interests they want outside of wrestling, but they still want to be a part of the wrestling business as well. That's where the part-time lane comes in. So I know some people don't like the part-time champions and stuff like that. My only issue is like you can still be a part-time champion. I just need you just need to produce something good when you're there. That's all I care about. Because you can still be a full-time champion and be ass. A lot of people right now in the company literally are there every week.
2022 Roman
not relevant.
Fucking 2023 Roman.
Yeah, them titles are not relevant at all. Like, and they're there every week on TV. Now, like, obviously goes to booking, you know what I'm saying? But like, just because you're a full-time champion doesn't necessarily mean you'll be a good champion. There's plenty of full-time champions that aren't really that great. You could be a part-time champion. Roman Reigns showed it at the highest level. You could do a part-time schedule and still be a champion that's credible and make it work if you're willing to put the effort into it when you're there and, to come full circle. The only really bad year of it was 2023 after SummerSlam. And the only reason it got bad is because we just had to wait until WrestleMania 40 for Cody to get that spot to finish the story because we all knew the end game. Like, all right, Cody going to get the rematch. We assumed at least that was going to be the end game. Like we were playing the waiting game at that point, but before that, there was also some dull stuff. Like it wasn't always 100% great, but from 2020 to 2023 SummerSlam, there was a lot of good quality in that you have with Roman as champion. That's memorable with great matches, stories, and all that stuff, moments and everything. So you can still be a part-time champion and be a good champion. It's just, you got to put the effort in for it to work. And Roman Reigns proved that it can work if you're willing to put the effort into it. But just because you're a full-time champion doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good champion. There's plenty of full-time champions right now on that roster that are not relevant, and they got the championship. So I think the whole part-time schedule, some people may not like it, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere, if I'm being honest. I think the Brock Lesnar effect is going to continue to move the shift for it for the future, where he showed people that you can have different value at that stage and still work less and make even more money if you're valuable to the product and what you're bringing in. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't have an issue with part-timers either. It just really depends on what you got going on. That's all.
but
Do we want to go through the rest of this card, or
no, I mean, we touch on the important stuff. There's some other stuff that's there. I said this in the chat yesterday, though. I mean, I don't know, man. Cody Rhodes, he kind of pushing top 15. I gonna hold you, like, especially with this.
Mo. You might have to recognize, because we tried to tell you
that peak is kind of crazy, bro. And then we talking about.
We tried to tell you.
Oh no, and then we talking about the heel run that he hasn't had yet, but. You know what I'm saying? That heel run go crazy too. Yeah,
so actually, Mo,
having a conversation.
And I don't want you to get annoyed. I actually want to hear an explanation, because all you do in the chat is moan and groan.
I don't want to have this debate.
Why not? Why not?
We're not going to agree.
Mo, that's not the point. I can understand. I can disagree with you, but I can hear you out, understand where you're coming from, and we're not even trolling you right now. Like, we're not.
I know you're not, but I'm not.
So then, why don't
the peak ain't done yet? I'm not finna rank somebody when I know he's not done peaking yet. Like, I'm not gonna rank you that high when I know you're still going. When you're done peaking, and I've seen everything you've done. That's when I rank you. I didn't rank Roman as high as I did.
Okay, so
he was done.
So let's just say Cody, right? Because we can all pretty much assume up here he's gonna win that title back, right? Maybe not hold it for forever, but he's gonna win the title back, right? We can all assume that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say it's a little 4-month reign. He's got a good feud, maybe a match here and there, and then he loses it to whoever else is next, or he gets cashed in on, right? Or whatever the case, right? Let's just say that happens, right? And let's just say he starts falling out of his peak, right?
Right.
If he's out of his peak, unless he goes back to like a Stardust low, because we know he's not going back to the mid card. He's going to be a main eventer for the rest of his career.
Right.
I get the idea of waiting until you're done before you actually put him somewhere.
Right.
But Mo, my question to you is, I guess I feel like if he's not in the top 15 now, what else do you need to see him do to put him there?
That's just how I work. I don't rank you unless I know you're done peaking. You're like, that's it. I didn't rank Roman in my top 10 until I knew he was done. When that title reign ended and then he started his whole bloodline thing, Roman was not in my top 10. And then when the whole thing with the working, I'm like, okay, he's done peaking at this point. Okay, so now let me analyze his career. That's how I work. I know Cody's not done. I know that Cody has a lot more sauce to add to this shit. Now, do I think he can add to? Is he going to add? Absolutely, but I don't rank based on hypotheticals.
No, and it's not even about hypothetical.
It got to happen.
I guess okay. So let me rephrase the question, because it really isn't about hypothetical.
Okay.
He wins the title the second time, and he has a good 4 or 5 month reign. Like, nothing crazy, but he has the reign. Career stops. Peak stops right there. I feel like
somewhere around that 15 range. Yeah.
And I guess that's my thing. I feel like if you look at that and be like, yeah, just based on what he's done now, right? Like when Roman for me, right?
Right.
Yes, after he beat Edge and Bryan, because that was crazy. Stacking both of them and putting them like that was crazy to me. But then once we got to like he won both titles and unified them, to me, I felt that was the moment. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's really not much else you can do. Like in this type. Let me finish. I said there's not much. I didn't feel like there was much you can do, because I felt, just based off of that Mania, I felt Cody was gonna be the one to take it at 39, and kind of how we played the waiting game from 39 to 40. I thought, right? Y'all fucked me over, but I thought we were playing the waiting game from 38 to 39. Right now, we had the Sami Zayn stuff, which, even though it was great and Roman was a huge part, I think Sami Zayn, that part of the bloodline, we attribute that mainly to Sami Zayn. I think that's fair.
He revived it.
He revived it, right? Roman was still great. Roman was still good, and we had the moment where he's staring at Jey Uso when he's like, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief. Roman was great still, but I think we know who did the backbone. So even though Roman still gets credit for that, I mainly give Sami Zayn credit for that. That's who gets 70% of that part of the bloodline.
I agree with that. Yep, I agree with that.
So I feel like just even of the stuff after he beat Brock and he unified that title. Now they ran it back at SummerSlam, which was their best match, but it definitely was not needed, right? That to me, I was like, yeah, Roman is pretty much on the downward. Now we got a great story in his downward, but I felt like, okay, we're kind of getting to the end. I thought 39 was going to be it. That's what I thought. I thought Cody was winning at 39. So I thought, okay, this is down. Now we didn't get that, but that waiting game we played, other than the Jey Uso stuff, it was real missable. Like, you could miss me with that, right? So that's why I felt after he unified them titles, and he didn't break Hogan, or he didn't get to 4th place yet, but he had still pretty much established he had the longest reign in modern WWE. I was like, yeah, you could lose at 39, pretty much not do nothing else. I'm good. Like, you've done enough for me to where I could start putting you in these top 10 convos. What honestly helped him get to the top 5 was that Sami Zayn story and the story he did with Punk and Rollins. Like, those two to me were elite storytelling. Y'all know me. I love storytelling, right? I love when I can think back and callbacks and Easter eggs, and I love all that shit. So that helped for sure. But once he beat Brock and unified that title, I was like, yeah, I'm good off that. Like, you can do nothing else, and I'm good with that.
I see how y'all's criteria more and more when you break it down. Like, how it's just for me, I like to let everything play out because you never know what could happen in somebody's career. You never know. Like, I didn't think Roman Reigns would become what he became. No idea.
For sure.
No idea. When he came back at first, I was like, is he a face? Is he heel? Like, I didn't know where he was going. But then when he was done, he played it out, and then I was like, okay, I don't think you can get better than that. Like, your moment was WrestleMania 38. After WrestleMania 40, that was my, like, okay, like, we're done. We're out of the peak now.
All right, cool.
He's never gonna touch that again. I was like, okay, where do I put him now?
Yeah, I feel like 40. I add into it, but y'all know how I feel about that build to 40. Like, I added, of course, but to me, like I said, I thought for sure he was losing at 39. I thought for sure Cody Rhodes was going to be the one to take it, and I thought he was taking, especially once he beat Seth, or when we got to Seth. Obviously, he tore his pec, and I
knew he was winning the Rumble. I knew that for a fact.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I thought torn pec, no torn pec. I knew he was sweeping Seth. So I was like, so once they did that, I was like, yeah, know that. I did, because he already won the first 2. I was like, he's gonna win the third one. Yeah, I was like, he's gonna win the third one. He's not gonna lose this early into his run. So my thought was, they're setting him up to win at 39. He was gone, won the Rumble. We know how that went. Now, the story of 40, yes, it adds to it, but y'all already know how I feel about that. I felt Roman dead ass just sat there.
Was the least important part of it, no doubt.
Like, it almost felt like a Cody Rhodes.
That was like the spark. Like, oh, I think we're nearing the end.
We're out of that.
That was like, that's where I started being like, okay, so how do I evaluate Roman now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That was kind of like, okay, now I know. And then when he lost and then went away for a good minute, I'm like, okay, so now where do I put Roman Reigns all time? You know what I mean?
I think some people just have certain peaks, though. When you're in it, you could just tell that this peak is special. So even if it ended right now, that still puts him in a higher place for me. Like, you're watching them that many people have not had, that you have not seen. So Cody Rhodes,
I got Cody like top 20. I think if anything, top 20.
But right now, I just feel like Cody. I feel like Cody, like, peak wise, he's literally doing Roman shit just without the long ass title reign.
Yeah,
he's about to be in what? 5 straight Manias and 5 straight main events once we get to 42? Or technically,
when you think about it too.
Or technically 6, because he had 2 main events at 40. So 38, 39, 2 and 40, 41, and he's gonna have 42. That's crazy.
He's gonna have 42. And I think people forget too, like, I think Stardust has blinded people so much. He was a great mid-carder before all that shit.
Yeah, he was
a really good mid-carder before. And then the road story, like, he's had a lot of really cool shit. I think people forget that. Stardust blinds him so much.
And when Stardust first happened, I didn't hate it too much. It's just
I didn't.
We know he was a jobber
as long as it would. Yeah,
I was about to say he was a jobber for forever though. Like,
the fact that Dusty passed and they still didn't change his character, I was just like, what are we doing now? Like,
yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, that was kind of crazy, but. Because, like, when he joined up with his brother, I didn't hate that. I thought Stardust Gold.
Oh yeah, when they were doing like just the Rhodes brothers, I'm like, this is cool.
I mean that too. But but when it was Goldust and Stardust, I was like, okay, because I think he turned into Stardust because he kept losing his Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
and it was like I'm gonna turn into Stardust, and I was like, okay, that's not bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, cool. He's going crazy. I can get with that. But
Yeah, I don't really let like mid card shit affect somebody's all time ranking too much. Like when you're doing dog shit on the main event level, that's when I'm looking at it like, fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? Like if he was a main eventer having those kind of lows, yeah, I'd be like,
imagine Stardust with the world heavyweight title.
Why would it kind of match?
Hey, what would be worse? Stardust with the world heavyweight title, or having to watch Jack Swagger do it all over again?
Oh Jesus!
Oh, Stardust for sure.
You think Stardust would be worse than Jack Swagger?
Bro, yes, that gimmick.
He's a jobber. At least
Everything.
Jack Swagger was supposed to be
Swagger,
taken serious.
Jack Swagger became a jobber later.
Supposed to be taken serious.
They were
what
supposed.
Did Jack Swagger do before he won that world title? Before he cashed the Money in the Bank?
I'm pretty sure he was ECW champion.
He was ECW champion before that.
Oh, okay.
And then after he lost the ECW championship, he came to the main roster. So,
but did he have like a signature win or a signature like?
No, I was shocked as fuck when he won the money.
No, nobody. But they used the money that they were using the Money in the Bank what it was for at that time to put it on people that they wanted to build up as main event guys. So obviously they had potential in him. It just didn't work out because his first feud after he won the world title was with Randy Orton. They put him with Randy Orton right after that.
I don't remember that at all.
Extreme Rules. Randy Orton was his first match. So they put him with Randy Orton. So they obviously had plans to want to execute there, but they never had no plans to put Stardust in the main event scene, bro. That was a job. That was a gimmick that honestly was only his gimmick because his brother had a similar gimmick. That's the only reason. Other than that, there was no reason to put him in Stardust.
They made it last way too long, bro. They should have done the Rhodes versus Rhodes feud and did it.
And I'm not gonna lie, the Stardust thing, like it could have been a good mid card gimmick. It had potential when it first did it, and then it just
they just did too much with it. He was just too much of a joke at that point. I was like, all right, what are we really doing?
See, look, this is why if y'all want to be a G Maniac, here's the number. Thank y'all for putting respect on Jack Swagger's theme song, please. That entrance is fire. The entrance is fire.
I heard it the other day. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad, but it's not good either.
What? Jet 1-2. Oh yeah.
I prefer the We the People theme. I prefer that.
I mean, We the People is elite. I think they're both elite. I think We the People was
Jack Swagger theme buns. Not that We the People do.
That OG theme. I never liked it as a kid.
The OG theme
is
elite, man.
I'll never forgive WWE for giving us the most oralist world championship match in WrestleMania history. Del Rio and Jack Swagger was the first.
That was so nasty.
WrestleMania.
Del Rio has some aura.
No.
The entrance.
No, the entrance was cool, but 2013.
Wait, did he have Ricardo Rodriguez when he?
Yeah, 2013.
The same person that says Alberto shouldn't have won that Royal Rumble. All right, bro, for sure.
Who says that?
You said Santino should have won that shit.
I said if it wasn't gonna be Del Rio, might as well.
No.
If you look, bro,
they were the final two.
Bro, if you
CM Punk was right there. I'll say it again, and I'll say it for the rest of my life.
Feud.
Bro, if you
no, he wasn't. His feud with Orton didn't start till after the Rumble.
It was a different feud. They already had different.
It didn't start till after the Rumble. Nah,
bro, this is
changed the
plan. Who gonna face the Miz?
It's Edge.
They weren't they respected the brand split at that time.
But when you win the Rumble, you can move over. When you win the Rumble,
but they didn't do that often. But they didn't do that often at that time, bro. Not at that time. I hear you, modern. But at that time of the feud, they didn't do that.
They only did it.
They respected the brand split a lot more back then.
Didn't Edge do it too, if I'm not mistaken?
Edge did it with Money in the Bank.
Edge came back from his injury, so he wasn't on like a.
Yeah. But Edge did that with like obviously.
Oh no, he was a SmackDown.
Benoit, I think, is the only one guy that did it. He's the only guy that did it.
Who?
Everybody else was on their brand.
But usually, like back then, they respected the brand split a little more, so that's why they weren't gonna do that, right? And
but
I mean, bro, I hear you, but you got.
It's not like they didn't tease that all the time. Like even with Taker, when Taker won the Rumble, they were like, "Oh,
I mean, they're gonna tease it, but you always choose your.
So you do it. Just go ahead and do it.
But they weren't gonna do it at that time, and that's what I say. If you look at who was in that Rumble, bro, right? Obviously,
Christian would have went stupid. If Christian had won that Rumble,
they weren't going to get.
They weren't going to do that, but that would have been cool.
And they were two baby faces.
And Del Rio 2013, he wasn't coming out to the cars anymore. He had that remix theme that he had, the generic theme, bro. That was no aura.
I don't even remember that,
bro. It was so no aura. They didn't even give Jack Swagger a proper entrance. They did the promo package, and then Jack Swagger was already in the ring. He was already in the ring. Didn't even get an entrance.
Jeez,
damn, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind
he was already in the ring.
I forgot.
Dang, we didn't get to see the push-ups to Pyro, Malik's favorite entrance.
I think he stopped doing that at that
He wasn't
point.
even
Yeah,
doing that.
he stopped doing that.
He was with
before
Zeb
then.
Coulter at the time. So
Oh, this was We the People?
yeah, this was We the People.
Weed the people. Weed the people. That nigga got arrested for weed before that.
It was the We the People gimmick. Bro.
Well, that should be an inspiration. We love. Never mind.
Nah, that's Mickey. That's Mickey.
Mickey
We love
is
people
fucked.
who do. Bro, we literally have somebody telling y'all not to do drugs as a heel. He was a bad guy, getting booed.
Hey, looking back,
do
CM
drugs.
Punk was right.
Boo.
Looking back, CM Punk was right. He was just being a dick about it. That's
CM Punk was right. No, he actually.
Well, that's the problem, man. We got to stop focusing so much on how something's being said and focus
Hell
on the actual
no.
message. No, because here's my problem. Here's my problem, Mo. If Jeff Hardy wouldn't have been so concerned with how he's saying it and just focus on the message, everybody else was trying to tell him nice and then he didn't listen still. So he clearly needed somebody to smack some sense into him. Because when they were being nice about it, he kept relapsing.
You need to be stopped.
Am I telling lies?
You
Tell me when tell me when I'm telling lies.
Jeff,
Tell me when I'm telling lies. If somebody would have
don't
smacked some
condone
sense into him and would have been more of a dick about it, maybe he doesn't relapse as much. And maybe we don't get 5 Jeff Hardy returns. Hey guys, I beat my addiction. Maybe we don't have that 5 times. Maybe Samoa Joe doesn't have to come out and say maybe having a bottle of champagne around you was the best.
You don't understand the pain of being a Jeff Hardy fan sometimes, bro. It's just like, my nigga, how many times?
If you've never been an addict,
I bet it's as painful as his lower back every time you take a bump.
Relax.
No, he do be taking some crazy bumps though, that's for sure.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie.
Still low key.
The only thing I'll say where I didn't blame Jeff Hardy, I was like, if he relapses, I'm not gonna blame him. When he had that fucking ladder match with Darby Allin, I was like, y'all want this nigga to relapse. Y'all clearly want him to relapse. Because why are they having this type of match right now? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
That's all Tony Khan saw Jeff Hardy for. As an action figure from fucking 1999.
That's all.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Relax. I knew exactly where you were going. You don't do it. Don't do it.
Man, being nasty.
I don't know his TNA run, but I don't think they doing nothing crazy in TNA. So.
No, I mean he had his moments, but he was mostly mat wrestling.
He had mat wrestling, but he had some. There's some extreme.
He had his moments. No,
I'm talking about TNA now, like as the tag champions right now.
No.
Yeah, but that's good though. That's what you should be doing. Just let him come out. Gyrate.
He's had a couple. He had one ladder match with Moose. He had a ladder match.
Hey, that match with Fraxium was
what?
That shit was elite.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good. But
Matt Hardy is an enabler.
I need an explanation on that.
Matt Hardy ain't never got
relapsed. Got
to go to jail multiple times as a criminal for driving under the influence.
I'm pretty
sure everybody handles addiction differently, though, bro. Like we don't know what that means.
That is true.
Addiction, mindset.
You're right. Some people hold themselves accountable, and others don't.
This
man talking like you know.
Hey, I've always said Jeff is his own worst enemy.
So. Well, I was about to say when it comes to Jeff Hardy specifically, I ain't gonna talk about everybody.
He's always
Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy specifically. Come on, bro, lock in.
Literally lock in, please, Jeff.
Please,
God
Jeff.
damn it. Like when I heard he got arrested when he was in AEW, I'm like, fuck.
When he got arrested.
That
AEW,
pissed me off. That one
like,
really made me mad. I'm like, Jeff,
yeah, bro,
come
like,
on, dude.
And y'all was trying to shit on WWE for getting rid of him. But I ain't heard about Jeff Hardy doing nothing crazy in a minute, so maybe that's what he.
Nah, he been chilling.
He been chilling. He on a good roll, man. He on a good
or maybe.
He on a good path. He on a good path.
He about to get bro. G always wanted to say something nasty, bro.
I was about to be a hater right now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Nah, he on a good path, man. He doing good right now. So, all right, ladies, gentlemen, watching the show. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Make sure you guys subscribe to the pod. We'll be back next week.
If you want to be a G-Maniac, here's the number, man. 1-800-G-Maniacs.
And make sure y'all pull up to my Twitch stream in like an hour.
Yeah, don't go to that.
Here, wow.
Watch the guy
I was gonna say, Mo, Malik beat me to it.
Watch the guy lose. All he does is lose matches.
That is just a flat out lie.
No,
You're gonna be doing elite GMing anyway, bro.
You got the proof.
Dang, Mo lying.
I lose like one match, bro.
Dang, Mo lying like Jeff Hardy when he said he was sober. Crazy.
Wow.
He lying worse than that.
Wow.
He a worse liar than that.
Wow.